Does it? Doesn't work. Hi. Okay, I should be live actually. You know what? This should work. This won't be a disaster like the last time. I hope. Oh god. You know what? I'm actually checking this on my phone now. Just to see if I'm actually live or not. But I am. I am live, and it's public, and I have a good connection, and hopefully I didn't forget anything. I am probably not muted now. The audio should be fine. Akron is here. Hello. Hello, Mr. Goat. You're my goat. How you doing? Oh man, Akron, I need to tell the story, please. This is so embarrassing because. Okay. First and foremost, I really want to stream this game again, so sorry that this is not a theater rhythm. I know I didn't promise a theater rhythm or anything, but I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, I really want to play this game. So there was that. But I found out what happened to the first part of the first stream of this game. And that is, so whenever I stream theater rhythm, afterwards, I immediately schedule the next stream. Obviously, I keep it private so you don't see it, but I schedule it and like change the description, add like the totals and the guesses from our little game or little guessing game, and then I keep it there until I am actually gonna stream theater rhythm the next time. I think the last one stayed there for like 4 months. Or more, I don't remember. Like, it was really long, and the thing is, whenever I streamed Triangle Strategy, it was never a problem, right? I would just select the different broadcasts for Triangle Strategy. What does YouTube say? No data. YouTube? YouTube? Don't worry with me like this, please. I don't need this right now. It's still green. Okay. It was really weird. I have this little green icon that says, like, good connection, and then it was still green but said no data, so I was like confused. So anyway, I had this stream scheduled, and the last time when I streamed this game, I accidentally didn't stream to the scheduled stream of Tyrion Cuthbert, which I actually like scheduled too, but I streamed to the privated theater rhythm stream. So I was technically live, as it was just private, and yeah, I figured that out. I was like, let's just load the game first. I was like, where were we? Oh, I guess we were here. Yeah. So I figured this afterwards when I was looking at my streams, like at my YouTube, not premium, what's it called? YouTube Studio. I was looking at it and I was like, wait, why is there a sick theater rhythm stream? I haven't streamed that. So I clicked on that and then I saw that was just the first part of the Cuthbert stream. So yeah, that happened. And the thing is, I don't know why that happened, because usually I don't use stream keys. I just have my YouTube account connected to my OBS. So I just select the stream that I want to stream to. And I'm 100% sure I selected Cuthbert and not a theater rhythm. So, yeah, I don't know how that happened. And yeah, that's a bit embarrassing, but I have, like, at that point I had already uploaded, like, the recording, since, like, the good thing is I always record at the same time as streaming, as I'm streaming, so I had the first part recorded, so I just re-uploaded that. And yeah, that I already did that at that point, so I'm just gonna keep it private. Gonna keep my shame private. That's how the YouTubers do it. But yeah, I don't know if you've heard, I've made myself a pot of tea and I just poured myself some tea, because the last time this really was straining on my voice. We'll see how this goes. Alright, it's time for the trial, so let's just take deep breath and relax. I just wanted to look at our notes again. I mean, it hasn't been that long. I streamed this last week, right? Yeah, last week. The thing is, I only streamed today because Thursday was for the holiday, and so I got a lot of recording done for a Virtuous Less Reward. So I felt like, yeah, no, you know what? Why not? Oh yeah, those constructs. I recommend giving them a stored in a command log. Must be cleared regularly. Okay. Motion can only be changed just by the headmaster. Okay. There's a foul smell. It happened in this lecture hall, right? And the little, like, one of the twins was in the kitchen who was sus. And the cleaning guy was over here, and he was also kind of sus. Who discovered the body? Sexual 2B by Valentina and Valerie. 2 members of the kitchen staff, according to the man on white, they were being hyperactive during questioning. Okay. Died at 2:01 PM. Body shows no signs of cuts or bruising. Alchemist report was verified that the death was not caused by poison or disease. Body shows traces of necromancy and illusion magic. Cause of death is not apparent, but very likely caused by necromancy magic. Right, we had the theory that somebody stabbed her or whatever, or like wounded her, and then healed her afterwards, maybe even healed her corpse or whatever. So that would explain why there was blood on the ground. I remember that. That was my theory. Although, it shows traces of necromancy and illusion, but I think it's just around the body, right? I must activate the Academy's lockdown systems, receiving a call from security. Got reported that the Catherine Bellwether had been fatally wounded. It covers the entire building. Once activated, it creates magical barriers. Likely impact each room. Okay. Yeah, she was pretty hated. Oh yeah, that was Jan. 30 minutes before Ian's twins found the body, Bellwether walked past him in the West Wing. Okay. So, yeah, she wanted to get rid of all those stuff. He has some cool spells, and there was a bloodstain on the body, and she was healed. Oh, why can't I scroll? There's nothing there. Okay. Anything else we need to know? No, those are all the people. She was creepy, but that's it. Okay, he had like that. What is the point of that spell? Isn't that just to be like cool? Okay, man wounds, illusionary disguise, revive, enemy corpse, and necrotic blight. Okay, and that's the one he's gonna be suspected of having used. Okay. Okay, we all on the same page now. Hopefully, maybe. Just take deep breath and relax. Hi, Tyrion. Celeste? Don't sneak up on me like that. Why are you so nervous? Oh yeah, wait. One thing I just wanted to look at. Okay, this still says bodyguard. Because apparently her profile spoils some things even more during the game, and I find that very funny. Why are you so nervous? It's not as if this is your first time defending someone. I can't help it. There's something about this building that just fills me with anxiety. Yeah, it's too bad Ruby can make it. I'd say that you should calm down for Wallace's sake, but there are so many people here. Yeah, wow. And they're all staring at me. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack of flesh-eating maggots. Ew. Gross. I agree. Don't worry, Wallace. Our investigation revealed a lot of weaknesses in the prosecution's case. We have a strong case for your acquittal. Okay. See? You can be confident when you want to be. It's strange. Something is calming about Wallace's anxiety, okay? I don't agree, but sure. It's like he just absorbs the tension out of you and into himself. Oh, take my first sip of tea. Oh yeah. Bonk. Court is now in session for the trial of Wallace Nightgrave. Okay, Nightgrave is actually a really cool name. I mean, it sounds like he sounds like a villain, but it's a cool name. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready. Very well. Let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelman, could you please list the charges? The defendant is a student at Wyvern Imperial Academy. Mr. Nygrave is charged with first-degree murder, negligent misuse of the arcane arts, and illegal practice of advanced necromancy. Necromancy? Do you mean to tell me that the defendant is a necromancer? I can't believe it. A necromancer in this day and age. How could the kingdom let this happen? Your Honor, I would like to remind the court that they should view my client objectively. Of course, but one can easily see it from the list of charges. Necromancy plays a large role in the charges. Indeed. The crime occurred within the academy this morning. The victim is Catherine Bellwether, a professor at the school. Although there were no witnesses, traces of necromancy were detected on the body. Furthermore, the autopsy report shows that the body has no physical wounds. I see. Necromancy is the only type of magic that can harm an individual without physically wounding them. But she was wounded, though. Additionally, the alchemist's report shows no signs of poison or disease. Therefore, one can only conclude that the necromancer had committed the crime. I keep struggling with her voice. I don't know why. Whoa, it is Kratos. Kratos, okay, I need to tell you this too. So, Kratos, when you stream, do you use stream keys? Or do you use like log in on OBS and stream that way? Because before, I mean, I used stream keys before, but then I just logged into my OBS with my YouTube, and then I got too lazy with stream keys, so stream keys, yeah, figured. I mean, I did use stream keys this time too, but like, apparently I streamed to the wrong scheduled stream because I had a private, like, I had a Fiat Rhythm stream scheduled, but that was privated, obviously, since I didn't know when I was ever gonna stream that again. I still don't know when I'm gonna stream that again. Probably next month, I don't know. And, yeah, I accidentally streamed to that scheduled stream instead of the Cuthbert stream, so the first 45 or like 43 minutes were privated. Like, I was live, but it was private, which is funny, but stupid. Anyway, moving on. As many of you know, necromancy is held under high scrutiny in the Crown. Aside from the defendant, no other students were permitted to learn advanced necrotic magic. As such, the defendant was the only mage in the building capable of committing the murder. I see. That is certainly compelling evidence. That didn't prove anything, but sure enough. To properly present our case, the prosecution would like to call Commander Armwhite to the stand. Oh god, not his voice. His voice is terrible for my throat. I have a bunch of streams for the backlog games. I streamed to a private stream the other day on accident, but caught it right away because I didn't see the stream come up on my end. Yeah, I didn't realize that. But I'm glad it happened to you too. that makes me not feel as bad. But yeah, not noticing that for 45 minutes is tough. But on the other hand, it like Acheron only posted like an emoji in the chat like after about 43 minutes, so I don't know. That's like when nobody's commenting that the game or like there's no stream, then it's obviously hard to notice that there's no stream, especially since YouTube like showed like all like good connection and everything, and I don't know how that happened. That was weird. So I always have my stream dashboard up, quicker to catch. Yeah. Like I said, it's I don't pay attention much to that if you only stream to like one person. It's not like I check it a lot, but yeah. Anyway, Commander White, please testify to the court about the Inquisition's findings. I feel like I made her sound way too old. Oh god. Yeah. He's not thrilled to be here. It started when the city got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked and the whole building was put on lockdown. If I have no order, that's a different issue and definitely chat to help. Yeah. I feel like there's no way especially the way I laid out my like windows on my second monitor, I can't see the audio levels moving. I'm just praying that there's audio, and if there isn't, that the chat will tell me. But yeah, usually I make sure I'm not muted or whatever. It started when the city watch. Oh yeah, someone's attacked. Whole building was fucking locked down. We set a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. Sometimes Windows updates screw my settings. I don't know what. Yeah, that happened to me too. This is awful. I hate Windows sometimes. I mean, also to be fair, the second restart of the stream, I couldn't help. Like literally, Google Chrome crashed, then OBS crashed, then the game crashed. I was literally considering restarting my PC, but I didn't want to waste that much time, so I had to redo it. So, yeah. There was nothing I could have done to avoid that one. Also, yes, I have turned off auto stop. I have turned that off now. Are you happy? Yeah. Finally got it into the building. The prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. Yeah, I did. I swear you were the one who told me. You were like, oh yeah, I never end my streams on the stream page. I always just close the stream on OBS and that's it. Maybe I misremember. And there were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid that did it. The Inquisition's testimonies just as you expected. Nah, I never imagine things. Oh yeah. Got my tea. The problem with tea, like I brewed an entire pot, and the problem is that now the room is very warm, and I'm like, I'm hot. You've already found and identified the holes in Sylvan's case. All you have to do is find that hole in the commander's testimony. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Also, Kratos, I really don't know if I'm gonna make you play this game. Yeah, this is literally Ace Attorney-like. It is very Ace Attorney. I don't know if I'm gonna make you play this game. Yeah, Ace Attorney with magic, but without Professor Layton. What time did this call come in? A little after, very oh god. What do you mean magic in quotes, Acheron? Yeah, you didn't miss much, Dean. Welcome back. I was gonna ask. I mean, yes, I know Ace Attorney technically also has like the whole spirit channeling stuff, but that's not magic to me. That's like spiritual bullshit. Yeah, that's what I mean. To me, that's not magic. Magic is like fireballs and healing magic. But you just summon spirits. That's not magic. That's like religion bullshit. Not like can make me play it soon though, unless you want to use the extra game on it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I don't know. Since the new rule starts next month, I can't really do. Did the whale talk? I don't remember. The thing is, I can't really use my. Like, I would have made you maybe play the Zero Escape games, but now I can't do that anymore because I can only have one game because they're longer than 8 hours, so yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna make you play this game. I was thinking of us playing this together, like the Great Ace Attorney, that would have been fun. But yeah. It was a few minutes after the murder was discovered. Right, remember that was around the time the lockdown occurred. Wow, very informative. Right, the lockdown can be ended manually, so they must have been forced to wait for the 1 hour duration to elapse. How secure was this perimeter? Is it possible that someone slipped past you? Or wish true of the Zero Escape games anyways, they wouldn't be blind? What? Probably exactly the ones I'm playing, right? Like, or I have played, like 999 and Virtuous Last Reward. Like the last one is Zero Time Dilemma. So, yeah. The Inquisition is working in conjunction with the City Watch and the King's Guard. With that many people at the scene, it's very unlikely that anyone escaped unnoticed. True, for better or for worse, the kingdom will act quickly to protect the building filled with nobles. Yeah, those two. I mean, those are the good ones, apparently. according to people. Spoiler alert, I kind of agree, but I don't have brain rot, so I'm not insane about the games, but I like them. They're good. When I got in the building, the prosecutor personally inspected the body. Why did the prosecutor inspect the body instead of the Inquisition? Well, I conducted the investigation as irrelevant to the proceedings. Oh, would you like to insinuate that I'm not as competent as Commander White? You don't question her competency, or do I? But it's still a bizarre decision on her part. While the court admits that the prosecutor's actions are unorthodox, we see no reason to question the prosecutor's abilities. Man, I can't read. Why did I decide to stream today? Thank you, Your Honor. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean, except for the huge blood stain, but we'll mention that in a minute. How carefully was the body checked? Perhaps the prosecution missed something. The coroner couldn't find even the smallest cut, bruise, or fracture on the body. Furthermore, the alchemist's report showed no signs of poison or disease. The coroner was actually astounded at how unscathed the body was. Like it was healed? With healing magic? Which counts as necromancy? That makes sense. If someone had used mend wounds in the body, it would have healed even the most minor of injuries. The question is, how do you prove that? With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded it could only be the necromancer. And the prosecution believes that my client used necrotic blight. Hello, perpetually tired. How are you doing? Still perpetually tired as always? No worries. Yep, the only way that the crime scene makes any sense. We haven't gotten far yet anyway. We just started the testimony, so there's that. Necrotic blight? I'm afraid I've never heard of this spell before. Sounds evil. I didn't get a notification. Maybe that's your settings, or maybe it's YouTube. You never know. Necrotic blight is a spell that drains the life force from its target. When used on a living human, it makes their bodily functions cease, instantly killing them. I see. What a horrible spell! The child should never have been allowed to learn something like that! What were they thinking? Could I get a small recap? Having that spell is not doing Wallace any favors. 1 second. We already investigated the crime scene, so we know that the Inquisition's theory contradicts one of the clues that we found. Right, all I have to do is present that contradiction to the court. So our guy, like him, he's our guy. He is a necromancer. He's like, how do you say? He's like really good at that. And he is suspected of having murdered his teacher. And like, these people found the body, and he was just like in front where I can so relate. Always perpetually tired. Yeah, I get. Perpetually tired said, I think like in the Splatoon stream, that they get that a lot. But yeah, this dude was like the last one who saw her alive. This is the headmaster. He was pretty sus. He also has illusion magic. She is very sus. Yeah. We have some clues. Hope that was helpful. Oh man. And we only got one testimony so far. Let's go. Okay, someone's attacked. Yeah. The body had necromancy. Well, no cuts or bruises. There was a pool of blood though. Objection! Objection! Commander White, it appears that you've neglected to mention one key detail of the crime scene. Hey, at least it was partly helpful. Yeah, and what's that? During your testimony, you said that the entire body was clean. I will admit that there weren't any wounds on the body. However, the body was certainly not clean. At the scene of the crime, there was a large pool of blood located where the body was. So true, Kratos. This blood came from the victim's body and was definitely not clean like the commander testified. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but I fail to see the significance of this. I'd like to remind the court of the prosecution's case against my client. They are accusing him of murdering the victim using necrotic blight, a spell which would not have physically wounded the victim. So why was there any blood at all? Also, the music goes hard. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The fact still stands. There were no wounds on the body. Nowhere are there any reports of poison or disease on the autopsy. There are clearly magical elements in this case. But Catherine Bellwether was bleeding profusely at some point. How else would there be a bloodstain on the body? Do you have an explanation for that, Miss Steelwind? No, I'll admit that the prosecution doesn't have an explanation for that. Just realized even has the jury noises like Ace Attorney. Yeah. And while I do find the circumstances questionable, all of the evidence clearly points to the defendant. What spell would leave a trace of necromancy? If the victim was killed with necromancy, why was there a trace of it on the body? She probably said if it wasn't killed with it, right? And I misread that. I'm glad you asked. I'd like to present a spell that could have left a trace of necromancy on the body. We present Mend Wounds. Yeah. Wait, it is Mend. Okay. No, I mean, we could have done Revive, probably not. Mend Wounds? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a healing spell? That's correct, Your Honor. Spells from the School of Necromancy can control the forces of death and life. Mend Wounds is, in fact, a necromancy spell. Really now? I wasn't aware of this, man. And I'm a judge for, like, magical trials, so I was not aware of this. Now, I'd like to ask the court to consider the following. What would happen if Bellwether was wounded and someone attempted to heal her using Mend Wounds? All of her wounds would disappear from her body. I see. Being an attorney there, Arcane sounds hard. True.
Objection!
Uh-oh. Do you honestly think I'm that incompetent, Mr. Cuthbert? I was hoping so. Frankly, I'm a little insulted. What? The Inquisition is well aware of what happens when a mage attempts to save a victim using Mend Wounds. The healers that arrived at the scene already confirmed that the victim was long dead. None of them attempted to heal her. Well, what if someone tried to heal her and didn't report it? Please, none of the healers would have anything to gain by doing so. In fact, as a necromancer, the defendant could have easily carried out the described scenario. He could have cast Mend Wounds in the victim after murdering her to confound the investigation. At the end of the day, the burden of proof is on you. But if you could just find out who healed the body, this case is yours. And whoever this healer is, Valentina definitely knows her. ... Your Honor, I admit that I don't have any evidence to support my theory. Great line. Who killed the body? That's a good question. However, I do believe that we can bring it to light. There may have been two people that witnessed someone cast magic on the body. Valentina and Valerie Earnest, the sisters who discovered the body. We don't know. This is nonsense. We've already questioned those two witnesses extensively. Oh yeah. If they had witnessed something like that, it would have come up in the testimony. Rip evidence indeed. Also, we haven't heard the testimony yet. Like, what? If that's true, then you have nothing to lose by hearing their testimonies. ... Very well. If you're so confident, let's hear the witness's testimony. It seems the prosecution has no objections. However, if this line of questioning leads nowhere, I will soon see no reason to further prolong this trial. He is a patient man. He listened to one testimony, he's like, okay, we're done. Get out. Do you understand, Mr. Cuthbert? Of course, Your Honor. Oh god, it's her. Oh crap, is that guy from before? I forgot her voice. Is he the necromancer's lawyer? She just got on the stand and she's already stressed out. This could work in your favor. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name? Witness, there's no need to be so nervous. We merely want to hear about what you saw on the day of the murder. Right, it's just that guy over there. You mean Mr. Cuthbert? Did this man harass you, witness? Wait a minute. Yeah. Don't immediately lie on the stand, please. He's like, super harassed me. How shameful. I would expect a member of our justice system to behave more professionally. Celeste, stop it. Oh man. Oh, shut up. So true, Kratos. We hate harassment over here. Anyways, please state your name and occupation for the court, Mrs. Enos. Just calm down. He can't prove anything. Okay, who wants to bet that at one point they switch places, like she and her twin sister? Like, maybe that's her twin sister, actually. My name is Valentina Enos. I'm a member of the kitchen staff at the Wyvern Gate Imperial Academy. As I recall, you were one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Apparently, the defense finds your involvement suspect. Very sus, actually. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely will do that if they haven't already. Yeah. Rest assured, Miss Enos. In this courtroom, you will be protected from Mr. Cuthbert's harassment. Oh, man. Now, please, testify to the court on what happened that day. I can't believe that Celeste is just laughing about this. Like, we're being accused of harassing her, and she's like, hey, that's funny. Even though she knows that we didn't harass her. Man. Yeah. There's no support anywhere in this game. Witness testimony. I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. We looked over to see what it was. That's when we saw Mrs. Bellwether bleeding on the ground. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. While my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she'd already lost too much blood. Okay. Huh. If your theory is true, that means she just lied on her testimony. She's definitely holding something back. She definitely saw more than she's letting on. We just need to prove that somehow. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination. Here we go. Where were you two coming from? We came from the kitchen. We were taking a break after the lunch rush. The cafeteria is on the west side of the academy. It's believable that they come on that side of the building, bruh. What did you see in the classroom, Miss Enos? I mean, I'm still confused, like, we got the map. Like, it's literally... Oh yeah, I forgot you can't see my cursor, whoops. But, like, I feel like, I mean, maybe they wanted to go to the storage closet, but like, why would they even go there? There are just lecture halls over there. Like, literally. Whatever. We looked over to see what it was. That's when we saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. Did you notice anything else strange in the lecture hall? Well, there was that terrible smell. It was awful. I almost couldn't see because of how much I was tearing up. But other than that, I was mostly focused on the professor. It makes sense. It would be hard to notice anything else. Sister tried her best to help her. She tried to help her? Miss Enos, how exactly did your sister try to help Miss Bellwether? What? I slipped up. My sister used first aid to try to stop the bleeding. I see. Could you please add that detail to your testimony? Yeah, sure. we got her. She used first aid and applied pressure to the wound to stop the bleeding. Your sister knows how to use a first aid kit? Yeah, it was covered in our training when we first started working. With all the nobles around, I guess the headmaster wanted to make sure we were prepared. Indeed. It's one of the bells. I mean, we're still gonna press the other testimonies because yes. A device? It's an artificial device that allows for long-range communication, called a smartphone. Some of those devices are placed around the school for use during an emergency. Okay, more like a payphone, I guess. I see. So who did you contact? I wasn't sure, honestly. I could hear a lot of people talking on the other end. That particular device broadcasts to the headmaster's office and the City Watch barracks. I imagine that's where the headmaster was able to activate the lockdown so quickly. I see. It was too late. I see. It's just all he has to say about that. That must have been a difficult experience for both of you. It was especially hard on my sister. I think she blames herself for not being able to save her. We didn't like Professor Bellwether, but we still didn't want her to die. She seems sincere when she says that. And you don't see any dissonant thoughts through the eye either. Honestly, her testimony makes a lot of sense. It's hard to figure out which part she might be lying about. There has to be a contradiction here somewhere. The theory is that Valentina saw someone use mend wounds on Bellwether. You should focus on the statement that describes how they both interacted with her. I'm glad you're streaming before the month passed. Yeah, it's kind of a lucky coincidence because we had a public holiday on Thursday, so I got a lot of recording in, which I would usually do on Saturdays, so I can stream today. She used first aid and applied pressure to your wound to stop bleeding. Valentina has a magical trace of necromancy on her. Someone cast a necromancy. Okay. Oh yeah, right. She wanted to fire everyone. So Paul shoved away after that she knocked over a vase and shattered it, even though I didn't say anything to her. She yelled at him to be quiet. I mean, that has to be the person with illusion magic, right? Why does this go in lecture B? Valentina and Valerian assume most of the kitchen staff. They're being hyperactive. I don't know, man. Oh, it can actually present people too. It doesn't make that. That's not making it a lot of easier. She used first aid and applied pressure to a wound. She didn't have any wounds, though, is what we're saying. So, where's our autopsy report? That's just this saying under the body. I'm confused. Do we not have an autopsy report? Wait, what did he do? A Chinese runestone. Yeah, I like the description. A magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. It's cute. This game is cute. Even though I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Now that's her reputation, and that's... oh wait, there's the autopsy report. I'm just blind. Is that what we're saying? Objection! Okay, that's what we're saying. Good. I was worried for a second. Witness. What is the meaning of this? What? Why are you looking at me like that? It's literally the attorney badge from Ace Attorney. Yeah. Maybe I can elaborate, Miss Yanis. You weren't present in the gallery earlier, were you? No, I was waiting in the lobby. Lady Steelman told me to wait there. Gonna disappear, getting off break. I'm back to work. Damn. I hope you'll survive the capitalism and see you next week, Kratos. Bye-bye. Also, oh no, wait. God damn it, I couldn't tell him that next week is gonna be a Splatfest again. Which is which is so stupid. Why are we always streaming on Splatfests? Okay, yeah. Well, I suppose I should consider myself lucky. Said, oh, it's gonna be fire! So true. Yeah, it's so stupid because I'm so far behind on the Tales of Xillia 2 Let's Play because I usually use that as my background music or like background noises for when I'm playing the Splatfests. But the last Splatfest we streamed and the next Splatfest we're also gonna stream together. So I'm like, I can't get rid of the backlog. I'm like 10 parts behind or 8 or something. It's if you like if the world was gonna end tomorrow, what would you do? The same old work on your bucket list or try to save the world? which is a really weird theme after the Springfest, but yeah. It's not a special one like the Springfest, so it's probably not gonna be decorated any differently. Okay. Well, I suppose I should consider myself lucky. There's a fan Splatfest going on right now that I was gonna join, but I'm out of town without my Switch. Ooh, that's a rip. Bucket list, can't save the world. Yeah, it's really weird because that implies that you could save the world, but it says that that the world is gonna end the next day. So if you're gonna go team save the world, then I guess you're just having some futile attempts at saving the world. Like it's really weird. I don't know. I don't know which one I'm gonna join. Probably bucket list. You see, Miss Ionis, one key element of the case is that the body didn't have any wounds on it. Yeah, so please explain to the court, Miss Ionis. How did Valerie apply first aid when there shouldn't have been any wounds in the body? What? Oh no, I screwed up. Imagine saving the world wins. You know what? That'd be epic. At least the world wouldn't end. True, anyway. Bye! Bye-bye, Kratos! Happy surviving the work. But I saw that wound on her. What happened? There's clearly something amiss here. But I'm afraid I don't fully understand the implications of this. Are you accusing the witness of committing perjury, Mr. Cuthbert? When someone lies, they stay as close to the truth as possible, while chanting minute details. In her thoughts, Valentina said that she was sure that she saw a wound on Belvoir. And she also mentioned that Valerie was the one that tried to save the professor. If she didn't try to save Belvoir though, with first aid, could she have used magic instead? Professor could be the mage that you're looking for. Like we suspected. The witness was lying, Your Honor, but not about everything. Valerie Ionis did try to save the victim's life by addressing her wounds. But she didn't use first aid. She used magic. Oh no, he found us out. Man, I was just jamming to the music and now it's gone. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but your theory is completely flawed. Oh yeah, the tea is good. Sorry, I have to keep mentioning it to bridge the awkward pauses. How so, Miss Steelwind? Well, it's quite simple. We've already verified that neither of the sisters are mages. What? Wait, how can you be so sure? During the investigation, we had both the Ionis sisters attuned to a spell compendium. It's standard procedure of the Inquisition when interviewing witnesses. Then that means... That's correct. Neither of the Ionis sisters could attune to the compendium. That's right. The Inquisition checked us both. I'm happy and scared. Neither of us are mages. Oh, that was close. Damn it! Are you wrong about Valerie being a mage then? No, that can't be right. No, he found us out. I thought said he found us out. That means that you were on the right track. Valerie has to be the mage you're looking for. Celeste, is it possible for a mage to hold a spell compendium and avoid attuning to it? No, it just needs to be on that person. When I was arrested, the Inquisition also made me attune to one of their spell compendiums. They were really careful to make sure that I did the attunement correctly. There's no way a mage could avoid attuning to a compendium with them watching you. They pulled a switcheroo, probably. Right. Commander White may be negligent sometimes, but even he isn't that careless. Now, if you're done, I do believe that you've exhausted all your options. Wait, I'm still not done cross-examining this witness. What could you possibly hope to glean from her testimony? Valentina should be stressed out enough to see more of her thoughts. But you can't exactly say that you're planning to read her mind. Yeah, that's, There was one key element of her testimony that the court is overlooking. I have a right as an attorney to complete my cross-examination. Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to buy time. I might be compelled to agree with you. However, I'll also admit that some elements of the witness's testimony are quite peculiar. I will allow the defense to perform one more cross-examination. That was close. But know that this is your last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. If you produce nothing substantial, I will pass my verdict. Like immediately, man. Of course, Your Honor. Alright, that's all or nothing. If you can't find anything by reading her mind, this whole case is finished. Witness, please give your testimony once more. Okay. Damn it. How long does he plan to keep me up here? Witness testimony. Like I said, my sister and I saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. We rushed over to her. I was definitely surprised when I saw her like that. Now that you mention it, I don't know if I saw any wounds on her, but I definitely saw blood. Can't go back on that now. I just need to play dumb. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. Valerie, you're too kind-hearted for your own good. Neither of us is a mage. Both of us held that book the knights gave us. I was caught off guard when they asked us. They almost found us out. The commander was watching us the whole time. He can confirm it. It's a good thing that we're twins, or else that trick wouldn't have worked, okay? You were right, perpetually tired. What are we going to do? They have pretty hard proof that Valerie isn't the mage. Valerie is the mage we're looking for, I'm sure of it. I'm just not sure why they felt the need to lie to the Inquisition. And more importantly, how did they trick the Inquisition? With the good old switcheroo. Oh. Interpret. Can I press? That matches the details of her previous testimony. They switched over one used the compendium. Yeah. You have no reason to doubt this. It sounds like you're just backtracking on a previous testimony. I'm not. I just assumed she was wounded because of all the blood. How was I supposed to know that someone closed her wounds? Her thoughts imply that she's lying, but her logic is sound. You'll need to look at her other statements and the thoughts that accompany them. I will, but I want to press though. As I tried to save her, but she didn't use magic. Valerie isn't the one who closed the wounds. How did she try to help her? I don't know. She might have been looking for an open wound to apply first aid to. But if we assume that you're telling the truth, there wouldn't be any wounds to find. My client would have already closed them to confound the investigation. I'm telling you, I don't know. It's hard to work with her pleading ignorance of what happened. Maybe you should try looking at the thoughts of her other statements. I will, but I want all the dialogue, so they almost found them out? Can I assume that this book was an unattuned spell compendium? Yes, the Inquisition has myriad of them. It's standard procedure to have witnesses attuned to them. But doesn't the kingdom require that mage register? Why don't you just cross-reference those records with the witnesses' names? For whatever reason, many mages among the common folk dislike the concept of registering. As a result, many of them choose to hide their powers illegally. Like us, for example. When I was watching us the whole time, came from it. It's a good thing that they're twins? Did you pull some kind of trick to deceive the Inquisition while tuning Miss Ionis? Of course not. We know that lying to the Inquisition would get us in trouble. Why would either of us take that risk like that? Living as an unregistered mage is a serious crime. If Valerie was a mage, then you would have been charged with fraud right then and there. Yeah, but we already proved that neither of us are mages. The eye seems to differ. Okay. Think through this. This isn't like a normal cross-examination. Nearly all of her thoughts will be suspicious and contrary to her testimony. What you need to do is find the thought that gives you a threat to pull on. In this case, you need to find the thought that applies how the twins tricked the commander. Find the thought that holds the clue and interpreter to proceed. They're probably like the last one with the thank God with twins.
Objection!
Objection! Mrs. Ionis, your thoughts betray you. What? You found the thought. I found the thought, yes! My brain cell finally produced a thought. They must have done something, but what? It must have happened when Commander White was interrogating them. Aram was the one who collected their statements. Did he notice anything off about their behavior? From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious. Quirks? He told me that they were rotting and spinning around him during questioning. What does that mean? I have no idea. Perhaps they will still on edge after finding their co-worker murdered. Running and spinning. My thoughts also said it's a good thing that we're twins. How did the twins trick the Inquisition? This means that their so-called trick wouldn't have worked if they weren't twins. Wallace sealed places with Balbo, what? Valentina switched places with Valerie. Of course, they switched places. You thought. That's a very good line, honestly. Valentina attuned to this first spell companion. Then she pretended to be Valerie to attune to the second one. Commander White couldn't tell the difference between them. Miss Enos, there's something I want to confirm. During the investigation, both of you and Valerie attuned to your spell companion. Am I correct? Yeah, that night watched us do it. You love doing the detective stuff? Hell yeah. And how did he have you do this? Did you both attune to those companions at the same time? Or did you attune one after another? What? No way, does he know what you did? I fail to see how that makes any difference, Mr. Cuthbert. Yes, I agree. The spell compendiums would work regardless of what order they went in. You may not be aware of this, Your Honor, but Valentina and Valerie Enos are identical twins, which means that their physical appearances are nearly identical to one another. If Commander White didn't have them attuned at the same time, what would stop the twins from switching places with each other? Ugh!
Objection!
This is clearly nothing but baseless conjecture. Aram won't fail at such a basic task. Really, Prosecutor Sylvan? Do you find it hard to believe that the Commander White would fail at a task like this? Wait a minute, this is crazy. We didn't trick the Inquisition. My sister and I are not mages. Then prove it, Miss Enos. Bring in your sister and we'll have you attuned to 2 spell companions at the same time. No, wait. Oh no. Damn. Order in the court! It's clear that we won't get anywhere unless we test the defensive theory. Bailiff, escort Valerie Enos to the stand and bring 2 unattuned spell compendiums. Uh-oh. They've both had their hand on those companions for the last 10 minutes. There's no way they can fake it in front of this many people. Alright, it's the moment of truth. I can only hope that your theory is correct. Huh. No. Did he seriously? What is it, Prosecutor Sylvan? What do you see? What I see is Commander White seeking new employment in the near future. It appears that the defense was correct. Valentina Enos is the mage, but Valerie Enos is. Oh, we got him! What's more, Valerie Enos' compendium contains the Man Wound spell, which makes the defense's theory entirely plausible. But please, just allow me to explain. We should allow you to explain what exactly. You're an unregistered mage. You and your sister have made fools out of all of us with your perjury. How would you know what it's like, Lady Steelwind? What? Did you think we didn't notice your name? You're not like us. You don't have to hide. Whatever. This whole situation has gotten out of hand. I knew it. Let's go. I didn't think hiding it would cause so much trouble. And I won't let someone go to prison because of me, even if he is a necromancer. Please, let me testify about what I saw. I'll tell you what really happened that day. Well, very well. But I understand that there will be repercussions for your actions, witness. Yes, I know. It's a shame it's so obvious. Yeah. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the foyer, and I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in a nearby classroom. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead. There was a hole in her stomach? Your Honor, as you can clearly see from the witness's testimony, the traces of necromancy was left by the witness, not my client. What's more, it's clear that there was a physical wound on the body. I see, well... His words trail off. He clearly doesn't want to pass a verdict when there's no real clear culprit. But he has no choice. The case against Wallace is predicated on Bellwether being killed by necromancy. Perp is a very good nickname. is a good one, I think. With Valerie's testimony, the prosecution doesn't have a shred of evidence implicating him. It's still so weird since, yes, of course, we heard all the evidence and stuff, but she never disproved the fact that he was in the library the entire time while everything was on lockdown. So he was kind of like not just on lockdown, but like we were like literally talking to him and his weird friend. So like she never explained that. Very well. The court sees no reason to prolong this trial. With these new developments, the court has no choice but to find Wallace Nygrave not—
Objection!
Oh! I believe the court is ignoring one key detail of the witness's testimony. Her perp before normally is perpetually tired or Elijah. Well, got a new one to the list. And what would that be, Miss Stillman? Let's re-examine the witness's testimony. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead. The communications device that Valentina Ian has used logs the time of day during each use. From this log, we know that Valentina used this device at 3:04 p.m. This was an hour after the time of death. Where are you going with this? Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found. Jan Huge. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallway before the body was found. I think I gave him a sleepy voice, like, I was cleaning the hall. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There were shards and dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. 20 to 30 minutes before the body was found. Do you see the discrepancy, Mr. Cuthbert? Wait, that can't be right. Bellwether died more than an hour before the body was found. How did Jan see her half an hour after her death? Illusion magic. I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, how could one make a dead body move and walk around? No, you can't mean... There was more than one piece of evidence that pointed to a necromancer committing the crime. The defendant murdered the victim and used necromancy to animate her corpse. And why would she then be in the hall? An undead, created within the Imperial Academy? How reprehensible. That's ridiculous. She had a hole in her stomach when the twins found her. Jan Hughes would have noticed that. Animate corpse stops the flow of blood, so she wouldn't have tracked blood anywhere. The defendant is also proficient with illusion magic. He could have easily used an illusion spell to hide the undead Bellwether's wounds. But another party could have easily used illusion magic to disguise themselves as the victim. If that were true, how did they move the body to the classroom? Oh, Miss Stillman, if your theory is true, it would mean that the murder occurred elsewhere. Would the Inquisition happen to know where? Regrettably, we do not. Then the prosecution's case against my client is still faulty. You can't convict McLean without more evidence. I agree with Mr. Cuthbert. With these new developments, the court sees fit to suspend the trial for the time being. We will give law enforcement time to investigate these unknowns. The court proceedings for this case will resume tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Wow, that felt really short. Even though we're already streaming for an hour. That's crazy, man. Hey, are you feeling okay? Please? Okay, I got that. Perfect. The body has been moving around an hour after death. It clearly wasn't bowel though. Oh god. Whoop. Not spill my tea. Or at the very least, she wasn't alive when this happened. So what was it? Tyrion? There's illusion magic involved. There has to be. But which spell was it? Could it have been illusory disguise? Tyrion! What? You've been quiet since the trial ended. You are making me worried. Sorry, I was just thinking about what Sylvan said. You mean about her theory? It's a little creepy when you think about it. Do you really think someone used... Oh, do you really think someone turned the professor into an undead? So my question now is, if actually illusion magic was used on her, would we see the traces? Like, as far as I remember, the only traces we saw were necromancy, and the illusion magic was like next to her body. Like if her body was over here, then the illusion magic was over here. Wait, you can't see me. You get what I'm saying. The illusion magic was not next, that was not on the body, but next to the body. So I'm like, wouldn't you have seen the illusion magic on her body too? In addition to the necromancy? I don't think so. The prosecution's case is hinged on one clear fact, that Wallace was the only high-level necromancer nearby. We have to assume that he's the only person capable of using that type of magic. You don't need to put it in the thing to catch... You don't need to put it in the thing to catch the thing, you just have to imagine it. Yes, I agree. You have to assume that he's the only person capable of using that type of magic. But then, how was she walking around? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's a given that Wallace didn't touch the body, so we can discount the use of high-level necromancy. No matter what, someone used an illusion. But aren't there spells that can create freestanding illusions, not just disguises? Oh, I honestly don't know. We need to talk to someone who knows about that type of magic. Wait, didn't Eris say that she was studying illusion magic? Oh, not her. She might be able to tell us if something like that is possible. Is that really a good idea? What do you mean? What if she's the one who created the illusion? What? You're detecting fear from her again. Celeste, are you scared of Eris? You should be too, my friend. What? No. I saw it this morning too. You always get really scared when she's around. Oh, I thought I was doing a better job of hiding it. I mean, to be fair, you can't really hide it. Sorry about that. Sorry, it's not based on anything real, but for years I've been working as a mercenary. When you do that kind of work, you build up an instinct to sense danger. You kind of have to if you want to stay alive. Sorry, I never knew. Tyrion, I fought literal monsters and barely escaped with my life. But when I'm near Eris, none of those creatures come even close. I get this feeling. It's like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't ever hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run whenever she's close by. Really? But she doesn't seem that dangerous, he says now. Am I go for now, but back to still streaming? Oh yeah. See you later, perpetually tired, hopefully. I don't know how long you're gonna be gone, but we still got a bit of a stream. We just started. I don't know, I think I'm just anxious or something. I should know better than anyone to not judge people by their appearance. So, sorry, forget I said anything. If you think we should talk to her, then we should do that. You not want to discount Celeste's instincts. She's always been reliable. I mean, don't we know her for like a week or something? Whatever. And if Eris is making her scared, that must mean something. But if Eris really is that dangerous, then that's all the more reason to talk to her. But aside from that, there was also something else that the prosecutor said. Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found. Ian Hughes. He, along with the other witnesses, spotted Bellwether walking in the hallway before the body was found. She said along with another witness. That means that there was another witness that saw Bellwether walking around. Right, Ian probably isn't the most reliable witness. So talking to that other person might help us figure out what happened. Or do you think Sylvan will tell us who that witness was? At this point, we won't lose anything by trying. In any case, it looks like you have your work cut out for you. So where should you start first? We start by saving the game. Oh god, and we go to a graveyard apparently. A cemetery, I should say. Man, I wanted to go to the other witness first. I really don't want to talk to Eris. Tyrion? What are you doing here? I'm not sure. For some reason, you felt drawn to this place. Wait, is that Eris? Celeste points further into the cemetery. There you see Eris standing in front of a gravestone. He's placing flowers on it and appears to be chanting a short prayer. Well, we found her. We should probably talk to her later. Or it would be rude to disturb her now. As you're about to leave, Eris suddenly turns to face you. She's far away, but you can see her beckoning you over. Hello there. Are you two looking for me? Sorry, we were looking for you. But we understand if you'd rather talk later. No, I was just finishing up here. Did you have something you wanted to talk to me about? Well, we wanted to ask you some questions about the case. Oh? Or we could just run. A trial. That was my first time watching a court trial. You were truly remarkable. Thank you. Were you in the gallery? I've always enjoyed watching physical battles in the theater, but I see now that battles of wits can be just as entertaining to watch. Entertaining? Yeah, I know what you mean. You see the odds are stacked against him, but then he suddenly pulls out this crazy deduction and sees the trial in his favor. I've never really thought of it like that. But I'm sure it's far more entertaining to be the one making the deductions. I'm not really sure what you mean. I practice law so that I can help those persecuted by the justice system. I don't really do it to entertain myself. But is that really true? Oh god. Don't you find... No, we got the glitchy screen again. Don't you find the experience even the least bit entertaining, Tyrion? No, this game sucks. I'm kidding. I wouldn't really put it that way. You're far too modest. You save people from the clutches of death. To your clients, you might as well be a knight in shining armor. Cool. Earlier you said that you were studying illusion magic. I am. Did you want to ask me about the prosecution's theory? Yes, actually. How did you know? It was easy to guess after seeing you in the courthouse. Anyways, disguising an undead with an illusion is definitely possible. And as Lady Sylvan said, illusory disguise would be the best spell to use for that. What if someone created a freestanding illusion? A freestanding illusion? Yeah, we know that Wallace didn't animate or disguise the professor's corpse. So, what if the illusion wasn't disguising anything? Maybe someone created a freestanding illusion of Bellwether walking around? For something like that, one would probably use major illusion. Oh, you know what? You know what? No! Major illusion, okay. It's illusion Millerso. It is a non-unit dispelled. And creates a three-dimensional illusion The illusion can take the form of any object or creature that can be contained in a 10-feet cube. While concentrating, the caster can animate and move the image to a different location within range. The illusion is purely visual and can't be physically touched. You know what could be true? That someone disguised one of these arcane constructs. Since they have the voice of the headmaster. Not the headmaster, of Bellwether, right? Can be unmanaged artificially that can carry out simple tasks in order to the ones in the speak. So I'm just thinking. Okay. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be very smart since the logs take like note of the orders, but you know, that could have been something. Major illusion. What is it? I don't think major illusion is what we're looking for. Do you remember what Jan said? I was cleaning a mess in the hallways. Bellwether knocked over a vase, and there was shards and dirt everywhere. If the Bellwether that Jan saw was a major illusion, then she couldn't have knocked over that vase. Illusions created by that spell don't have any mass. I see. How perceptive of you. Aren't there any other illusion spells that do have mass? No. Illusion can only recreate visual and auditory sensations. But there isn't a single illusion spell that someone can touch. So that means that someone disguised something to make it look like Bellwether. I'm calling it. It's the guy, the artificial guy. By the look of suspicion, Celeste. Sorry, I wasn't. Calm down. I'm only joking. I don't blame you for considering every possibility. In fact, I'm flattered you think I'm capable of pulling off such an elaborate ruse. Anyways, this does tell us one important thing. What's that? The Bellwether that Jan saw had a physical mass to it. It wasn't a freestanding illusion. It was someone or something disguised as Bellwether. Jan's statement. 30 minutes before the Ennis twins found the body, Bellwether walked past Jan in the West Wing hallway. He was in her path, so he shoved him out of the way. After that, she knocked over a vase and shouted at it. Even though Jan didn't say anything to her, she yelled at him to be quiet. After this interaction, she walked to Lecture Hall 2B. The Bellwether witnessed by Jan Hughes must have been disguised with an illusion. In addition to that, whoever he saw that day was physically there. Okay. It's quite a shame, isn't it? Eris looks pensive at the gravestone. The name on the stone says Emily Grant, and her lifetime appears to be awfully short. She must have only been 12 years old when she died. Sorry for interrupting you. Was she someone you knew? Not personally. I'm actually here on Wallace's behalf. Wallace knew her? Wallace joined the academy as part of a program run by Headmaster Redmond. At the time, the headmaster was reaching out to mages among the common folk. He had started a program to admit these mages to the academy without having to pay tuition. Both Emily and Wallace were among those mages. Wow, that must have been an amazing opportunity for them. The truth is, neither of them actually cared about learning magic. The real problem was that Emily had a terminal illness. She and Wallace were poor orphans, and they obviously didn't have the resources to treat it. But if they enrolled in the academy, the academy would be obliged to give her medical treatment. The Imperial Academy teaches the best mages in the kingdom. They thought that curing her illness would be an easy task for the academy's healers. But they were mistaken, I'm afraid. I'm sure you know this by now, but healing spells can only treat wounds. They can't cure illnesses. Emily's conditions only got worse over the years, and eventually she succumbed to her illness. Wallace was furious. He didn't understand why the kingdom was outlawing magic that could save lives. And that's why he decided to learn it himself. Yes, The headmaster was inspired by Wallace's resolve. He gave him access to the Academy's forbidden tomes of necromancy, and Wallace taught himself the spells that he knows today. So that's why there was supposed to stay a secret between him and the headmaster. But I'm sure you know now how that turned out. Not good. Can I... Do you like my attorney's runestone? What do you think about this, Eris? Really now? I can't tell you everything you need to get through this case. Yeah, it is being very Doki Doki Literature again. What would be the fun in that? Okay. I was just showing you my runestone. Come on. You know, what do you think? Can tell me anything? Okay. Smell. Okay. Mean. Just want to see if she has some stuff. Oh, and the battery was gone. What about the statement? Okay, I don't think she's gonna tell us anything. Maybe about him? No. But yeah, right. We can present people. Wait. Anything? It's strange, really. If it weren't for his disposition, Wallace would be quite the person to fear. What do you mean? It's clear to the three of us that he didn't commit the murder. But think about how easily he could have done what he was accused of. He could instantly kill anyone using necrotic blight. And he could even raise them as undead using anime corpse. I suppose so. But Wallace would never do something like that. It's surprising what someone can do if they're pushed far enough. Oh god, she's not even Doki Doki Literature clubbing it. She's just looking at us menacingly. It really makes me wonder how idiotic the people that bullied him were. You'd rather not think of such things. Okay, anything about them? What do you think about this, Eris? No. Okay, what about... Wait. That was... Wait, her. Okay. Nothing about the undercover mage. Okay, last one. Oh wait, actually could ask her about the headmaster too. I was gonna ask her about Bellwether. You were with the headmaster in his office earlier. Are you two acquaintances? In a way, yes. You could say that I'm a patron of his. I'm mainly interested in why he would go so far as to include the common folk in the academy. His generosity is clearly a vice sometimes. What do you mean? Enrolling common folk mages into the academy was already a controversial move. But teaching one of them necromancy, even if Wallace is acquitted, I don't see things getting easier for him. Okay. So, Bellwether. Catherine Bellwether wasn't the best person. She constantly used her authority to belittle and torment people. I'm sure the world is better off without her in it. That's extremely blunt, Eris. But I can't exactly disagree with her. I have no interest in respecting those in power who are unworthy of it. Okay, that's a statement. I guess we go to the foyer. Move. Actually move. And now we got the nice music. Let's talk to Celeste. Why not? There's still a lot we don't know. Yeah. We know that Wallace didn't kill her, but the true killer really murdered her there? Right. We need to go there to find out more. There. No, I didn't. What? I didn't. I can't help with that. I wanted to talk about the next lead. Where should we go next? The prosecution believes that Wallace killed Bellwether in the library. We didn't really investigate that room the first time around. Wait, when did she say it was in the library? Didn't she just say she had no idea? We might be able to find some new leads there. Sure. Also, excuse me for 1 second. God damn it, maybe multiple seconds. have returned after multiple seconds have passed. But I need a sippy of my tea first. Oh, it's you, Mr. Cuthbert. I don't know why I'm struggling so much with her voice specifically. I kind of want to give her a high voice, but also a little bit of gravel in it, and it's not working. At least it doesn't sound as bad as the Clover voice. That's the worst one I've done so far, I think. Like from out of all my voices. Steel one? What are you doing here? After what happened at the trial yesterday, I decided it would be the best to start my investigation here. Right. Wallace was in the library for the entire morning. So it would make sense that she'd start her search here. Actually, since I have you here, have you seen Eris Almeida anywhere? It's my understanding that you're both acquainted with each other. Eris? What do you want with her? It's not for anything serious, mind you, like accusing her of murder, for example. It's just that Overman Commander lost her spell companion. Now we need her to produce another one for our records. If you see her, please let her know that we'd like to speak to her. We saw her earlier in the cemetery nearby, but I have no idea where she is now. Once again, excuse me. I have to compensate for that idiot's mistakes. Anyways, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Very well, I suppose. I still need to honor our deal from earlier. I don't remember the deal, but you know what? If she's talking, she's talking. I'm not complaining. Have you had any luck of finding the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, I haven't. From the witnesses' testimonies, we have a rough idea of the route Barbara took. But none of the rooms we've checked have any sign of a struggle. Why are you so sure that a struggle happened? I'm mainly basing that on the Ian sister's testimonies. Valerie in particular noticed that the bleeding came from a wound in her stomach. Regrettably, the body's wounds were mended, so we can't determine what kind of weapon the murderer uses. I mean, it's still... like, her argument is also flawed in that way, since she says, okay, if the corpse is reanimated, oh, never mind, I get her logic now. Like, I thought, like, if the corpse is reanimated and the blood stops flowing, then how would the blood be there in the lecture hall? But I guess if you then spell the spell, then I guess it's just collapses and it starts bleeding again. I guess? It's still kind of a weird argument, though. During the trial, you mentioned that another witness saw Bellwether walking around yesterday. Would you be willing to tell us who that person is? I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that. You're caught a little off guard. You've been pretty transparent with your investigation so far. What's changed? I have no obligation to justify myself to you. Nor do I have an obligation to help the opposition. Didn't we have a deal? Hiding information doesn't exactly seem fair to us. I believe I've given you plenty of information already. So regardless of what I said before, the answer is still no. Her family is dangerous. The Eye of Horus catches a stray thought from her. Her family is dangerous. What does that mean? There's something about this witness's family that you're worried about? Oh! No, this could be a feint. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try harder than that if you want to bluff me. She referred to the witness as her. How long does animate dead last again? It lasts... animate corpse. Duration 8 hours. Once the spell's ended, the undead will return to being a dead body. It's the target using life energy, creating an undead minion for the duration. The minion follows the caster's orders. Its damage is limited and it cannot speak. The minion can end the spell prematurely, but it will only do so if ordered by the caster. Okay, so before I read the part about how it cannot speak, I thought maybe she was like dead for a long time, like for like 8 hours. But on the other hand, if it cannot speak, we did talk to her in the morning of the incident, so she had to have been alive at that time. But then again, if she did use, if they did use animate corpse, then Jan wouldn't have heard her like yelling at her. So we already already disproved that argument. She'll refer to the witness as a her. Furthermore, she said that her family is dangerous. Why would she go to such length to hide the witness's identity? In any case, it looks like she's not willing to share more at the moment. It's probably either Eris or Ruby. Maybe you should try looking elsewhere. Okay. Really nothing I can examine? Globe. It's a globe of the world. It's amazing how many other nations there are aside from Wyverngate, Bard. I've been to most of these places. You should come with me next time, Tyrion. Isn't traveling through the border heavily restricted? Don't worry, I won't report you. I can't exactly blame you for wanting to leave. Damn, she being real. Due to constant misuse of the Arcane construct's voice system, voice lines can now only be set by the headmaster's Master Redmond. Is that why I can't make the construct say things? The constructs speak using Professor Ballweather's voice. Unfortunately, there was an open invitation to many of the students. A lot of them ordered the construct to speak several obscenities using her voice. But why is Headmaster Redmond the only person allowed to set the voice lines? There were also rumors that several faculty members partook in these pranks. I can't blame them for wanting to let off some steam. But that makes the headmaster look very sus. I mean, he was pretty sus, but still. The library is full of books for educational purposes. It's too bad that I don't have any fictional books. Were you looking for a novel to read? Yeah, I was hoping they'd have some mystery novels I could read. You like mystery novels? Of course! Why do you think I like this job so much? I've never really been a fan of the mystery genre. What? But your whole career is about solving mysteries. Exactly, it's exhausting. When I read a novel, I just want to read about simple fantasy stories and classic heroes. I guess that makes sense. What about you, Siowin? I don't really have the time for such things. Damn, she is lame. It's a holy text from the Church of Bahamut. I read some of these with Arabs earlier. I'm meaning to ask, you guys worship dragons in Wyverngate? I've never really been the religious type, but I've seen some devout worshippers in the capital. It's the most prominent religion here. The Scaled Lord, Rathalion, is said to be the source of all arcane magic. It's no wonder that he's such a large part of our culture. Crazy, man. Anything else? The bench. That, or table, I guess. The table for students to sit at while they study. I don't think I could handle studying here day after day. Oh yeah, she was like, oh yeah, I need to move around. I take magic.
Arcanum.
Yeah. Can I present you this? What do you think about this? No. She does not think. Okay, can I go to the locker room? Interesting. We weren't there yet. You spent some time wandering through the academy when you overhear a conversation in a nearby room. Oh. I also forgot what kind of voice I gave him. From what... that sounds too much better. From what I understand, the Miss Stewart has already moved the investigation elsewhere. How long must I wait before I can retrieve my things? Sorry, old-timer. Orders are orders. Nothing comes in or out till this case is over and done with. I like how he calls them old-timers if he isn't himself, like, pretty much before very close to retiring. Commander White and the headmaster too? Oh, hello, Mr. Cuthbert. Hi, kid. Oh, in any case, there are other matters I must attend to. Please inform me when I can reclaim my things. Sure. It looks like Commander White is standing guard in front of this locker room. And it doesn't look like he's conducting any sort of investigation. Is he hearing Siobhan's orders? He might be able to tell you who the secret witness is. Hey, you wanna, like... Oh? What was the headmaster talking to you about? Supposedly, he has some item stolen in one of the faculty lockers. The problem is, Steelwind said no one gets in or out of this room. Except for her and you two, apparently. She won't even let the other knights in here. Really? Is that normal? Nope, but things rarely are when she's calling the shots. Why would she give you access to the crime scene if she wasn't even letting the knights in? Steelwind's orders. With the exception of you and Celeste McCoy, Prosecutor Steelwind isn't allowing anyone inside the key areas of the Academy. She isn't even allowing the Knights of the Inquisition within these areas. She appears to be conducting the investigation single-handedly. Aria must be really mad at for putting him in charge of guarding some lockers. I think so too, honestly. I don't know what her deal is, but she's been acting strange lately. She's been a real paranoid, that girl. Frankly, I can't tell what's going on through her head. You mentioned that the prosecutor has been paranoid lately. Do you think this has something to do with this case? Nah, it started way before that. Lately, she's been using the Inquisition to investigate a lot of non-magical homicides. What? Would it be easier to work with the relevant law enforcement for that? I don't know why, but she's convinced that these cases have magic involved. I rescanned each and every one of those crime scenes. Nothing turned up. I gotta say though, to run for the scans, I might actually agree with her. Why do you say that? Those homicides. I haven't ever seen anything like them. They're probably some of the most screwed up cases I've ever handled. For one of those cases, we had ourselves a disgruntled spouse. She found out that her man was going around with a barkeep. And you know what the spouse does? She stalks the poor woman. She starts leaving threatening notes all around where she worked. The barkeep told the city watch all about what was happening. But no matter how much they staked out the tavern, they could never catch the perp. Then one day, the barkeep arrived home. But little did she know, the spouse was waiting there for her. The poor lady never had a chance. Then to tie the whole thing together, the spouse waits for her husband to get home. She cooks him a big roast, using the barkeep's remains. Ew. That's gross, man. Wow, that story is pretty... I know. Steelwind thinks someone's developed a new type of magic that can control people's minds. And these homicides were some kind of sick test run. Maybe someone found a death note. Magic that can control people's minds? But wouldn't Mage Blight make more sense? Mage Blight? When a mage overuses their magic, it can have pretty bad consequences on their mind. They temporarily lose grip of reality and begin seeing things that aren't there. When a mage becomes like that, it almost never ends well. They enter a frenzy and begin firing spells randomly, which only makes it worse. I've seen my fair share of Mage Blight cases, but this isn't like that. Not all of the perps were mages, and the ones that were didn't even use their magic. One thing was that each of the perps almost seemed to wake up after we arrested them. All of them said things like it wasn't me or I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice? What could that mean? I doubt it means anything. Sometimes people can't face the things they've done. It's easier to say that you had no control than to take responsibility. I don't know, man. Steelwind might be onto something there. You wonder if you can mislead the commander into revealing who the secret witness is. During the trial, Miss Steelwind mentioned that someone other than Jan Hughes saw a bellwether walking around. Have you seen them around lately? I wanted to speak with them. A nice try, kid. Well, it was worth a shot. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I don't think anyone other than Steelwind knows who this witness is. I sure saw don't. What? She's even hiding it from the Inquisition commander? I mean, he is quite incompetent, so why is she being so secretive? It looks like the commander doesn't know who the secret witness is either. This isn't getting us anywhere. Steelwind's behavior is strange, though. Perhaps you could try analyzing her behavior. If you do that, you might be able to find a way to convince her to help you. Oh, music drop! Okay, Sylvan's behavior has been strange this time around. He's hiding elements of the case, even from the commander. Anyone could tell that she doesn't have much faith in him. I'm standing right here, poor guy. But this is the first time I've ever seen her hide key details of a case from him. What is motivating Sylvan to keep secrets? There has to be a reason why she's being so secretive. Paranoia, logic, arrogance? Paranoia? Her action must be driven by paranoia. She's been hoarding information about the case. There's only one reason why she wouldn't utilize the Inquisition like she usually does. It's because she doesn't trust them. I had to say it, but that doesn't really surprise me. She's always been standoffish with us. But there is one exception. Who has human trust for this case? There are individuals who she's trusted more than the Inquisition during this case. I mean us? She's let us investigate the crime scene without any restrictions. Yeah, I never really thought about that. Does she trust us that much? I don't think personal trust is the reason. Why does no one trust us this time? We don't usually interact with her. And she's worked with the Inquisition on plenty of cases that we weren't even involved in. The headmaster is an employee of the nobility. Tyrion is capable of using magic. Tyrion the nobility? Oh wait, wait. This is capable. Wait, isn't capable of using magic? Is that what we're telling? No, there's a difference between us and the Inquisition. Don't answer to anyone. We aren't subject to corruption, by which makes you interested this anyone. We aren't men of the nobility? Or the Inquisition? Wait, Tyrion isn't a member of... Nope. Nope. I mean... I'm confused. Or are we in... Are we in a... Okay, there we go. Sylvan doesn't know much about us, but she does know that we aren't prone to noble corruption. Right, you indicted a noble during the last case. Meanwhile, the Inquisition usually bends to the nobility's whims. Well, I can't argue with you there. What can you infer about the secret witness? Using my insight, I could tell that she's worried about the witness's family. And if she's worried about corruption from the nobility, that can only mean one thing. The witness is a murderer! The witness is a noble? The witness has to belong to a noble family. That's why she's so aware of interference. But we're obviously not going to do anything corrupt. Why is she hiding the witness's identity from us? You recall seeing the thought through the eye. So, regardless of what he said before, the answer's still no. Her family is dangerous. I think she's worried about our safety. Yeah, I guess harassing a noble could put you in danger. But I'm the protege of the infamous Ruby Tamora. Yeah, it's not as if we aren't already on the nobility's bad side. Oof, man. I'm sure the Pierce family still has it out for us. This can only mean that the family we were dealing with is even more powerful than House Pierce. The prosecutor is wary of them. They could even be as powerful as the Steelwinds. Wait, don't tell me you think we're dealing with one of the 4 pillars? 4 pillars? It's the 9 people use for the top 4 noble houses. These families stand at the top of the kingdom's aristocracy. If I recall correctly, the 4 pillars are House Frega, House Sanctus, House Sybil, and House Steelwind. Steelwind is part of one of them? Yeah, which makes it so much weirder that she's serving as a prosecutor. The 4 pillars refer to the 4 most powerful noble houses. The houses are House Steelwind, Frega, Sanctus, and Sybil. What is it? Steelwind's weird behavior all started after she investigated this room. We were at the crime scene, and she left to follow a lead. About an hour later, she came back to the lecture hall and booted everyone out. Her behavior is changed after investigating this room. That means that she found something here. And that something must point to a family from the 4 pillars. The commander looks a bit anxious. You know, Sylvan's orders say I can't snoop around here. But you two, on the other hand. Don't worry, just leave it to us. I have some school records that say which locker belongs to which student. You can use it to tell whose locker you're looking at. Nice. Whoops. Examine. Oh, there's an arcane construct in the back there. It's probably there to aid the students. Anyways, I don't think it's relevant to our investigation. But perhaps you should make a small note of it anyways. Appears to be an inactive arcane construct in the academy locker room. Okay, maybe she was killed here and then just brought into the lecture hall? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Use the legend that the commander gave you. You look carefully across the list and find some notable student names. Oh, literally all of them. Let's start with Wallace though. You open Wallace's locker. Inside you find a bottle of fragrant liquid and something that looks like a makeup kit. I didn't expect Wallace to use stuff like this. It does seem strange, but it's not your place to judge. I mean, he could be dressing up corpses, you know. Anyways, you should try looking through the other lockers. You use the legend that the commander gave you. Carefully cross the door. Miriam Frega. You open the locker with Miriam Frega's ID number. Inside you find a stack of worn-out textbooks and notebooks. Wait a minute. These notebooks all have Wallace's names on them. You open the notebook and look through its pages. It appears to be research on the art of necromancy. These are Wallace's notebooks. Why are they in Miriam Frega's locker? Did Miriam steal his things? What's going on here? You and Celeste check the lockers more thoroughly. Wait a minute. Tyrion, take a look at this. That's blood. Ooh. There's a stain of blood inside the locker with Miriam Frega's ID number. Now that seems... Wait. Use the lens. I remember something. Careful look across the phone. Okay. I remember... Didn't... I think Eris told us about how Wallace was kind of being bullied here, and that people would just switch the nameplates around. So, in that case, that would actually be bad, because that would mean that the blood was actually in his locker, because that would be his locker then. Maybe that's not a good point to bring up. You open Jaden von Sanctus's locker. Inside you find several bottles of some kind of transparent lotion. There's nothing but lotion in here. Oh. I wonder why a student would need this much lotion. You take one of the bottles to inspect it more closely. Wait, Tyrion, don't touch those with your hands. It's some kind of a sanitizing liquid. It's a little strange, but it doesn't seem to be related to the case. Use it, okay. Okay. Warren Sybil. You open Warren Sybil's locker. Inside you find some textbooks and a neatly stacked deck of tarot cards. Oh, it's like those cards that fortune tellers use. I wonder if the student studies divination magic. But anyways, I don't think this is related to the case. Yeah, okay. You look across the list. Already checked everything. We found a few things, but I can't really make sense of any of it. We should look at this from the prosecutor's perspective. Sylvan found something in one of the lockers. Whose lockers had the most suspicious evidence? And whatever that was, it made her extremely paranoid. It was Miriam Frega. No matter how we look at it, we found some insanely suspicious things in Frega's locker. It had Wallace's notebooks and even some blood. But that blood is certainly strange. It implies that something bloody was stored there. Do you think someone stole it? No, actually. I think it was Steelwind who took it. Oh, right. Aura mentioned that she investigated this room. She must have taken the bloody item as evidence. But But with that said, there's something else that's strange about Miriam Frigga's locker. It had a lot of Wallace's possessions. It's possible that she really did steal these items from him. But it's more likely that this locker isn't actually hers. Remember what Wallace told us before? Okay, the game remembers for us. Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off of my locker. Then they'd switch it with the number of another locker. They thought it was funny whenever the student who owned that locker got angry with me. So someone switched the nameplates? This means that this isn't Miriam Frigga's locker. It's Wallace's. But that would mean that the bloody object came from Wallace's locker. It appears so. Evidence in the locker. Someone must have switched the ID numbers. But if that's true, why did Steelman present the bloody item during the trial? I proved that Bellwether was wounded before Valerie healed her. Wouldn't that have been the perfect time to present what she found? It was a bloody item found in the defendant's locker after all. She could have easily proved that the nameplates were switched too. Right, it is weird. There's something more to this that you aren't seeing, but what? I think we'll just have to ask Steelman ourselves. Okay. Nothing more? Use the... Oh, okay. I get it. We are out of here. Back to the library. If she's there. Oh, you're back. We've uncovered a few things during our investigation. Miss Steelman, are you acquainted with a student named Miriam Frigga? I underestimated him. I said it before, Mr. Cuthbert. I won't fall for such an obvious bluff. It's not a bluff, Miss Steelman. And I'll prove it using the evidence we've gathered. Oh. Iris Steelman's psychological profile is complete. Okay, here we go. Argument time. Steelman is paranoid, and for whatever reason, it's due to the involvement of Miriam Frigga. If you could convince her to reveal why she's being so secretive, she might give you more information. Sure. Oh yeah. Argument. You've been behaving strangely, Steelman. Let's look at this first. Steelman is extremely logical and won't accept arguments that aren't supported by evidence. However, she has become secretive lately, and her actions seem to stem from paranoia. She's uneasy about case elements that relate to Miriam Frigga, and she's very inclined to hide Frigga's involvement from the court at all costs. Even the Knights of the Inquisition have noticed. Please, just tell me, why are you being so paranoid? I'm not sure what you're trying to imply, Mr. Cuthbert. Not about my has changed. I've approached this case objectively, just like I have with every other case. Wait. The evidence in the locker? Oh, for orders. You've ordered the Knights to stay away from the crime scene. You want a Danganronpa game with Arya? Why? I mean, I guess. I mean, she would be like the one smart character. That's true. And you've even taken it upon yourself to conduct the investigation yourself. That is not normal behavior for a prosecutor. I took those actions because the Inquisition is incompetent. She'd fit right in? Yeah, I guess. How could I possibly trust them with anything? The Knights are incompetent, but even you can see the value of delegation. During Celeste's case, you still delegated tasks to the Inquisition, and you could have easily investigated the McCoy Tavern yourself. This academy is huge. You wouldn't conduct your investigation this way unless you had a good reason. And why don't you enlighten me? Why would I act in such a way? What would cause me to behave so strangely? Oh, this is the reason I've been acting so strangely, Steelman. What kind of weak person do you think I am? Something like that would hardly cause me to change my behavior. What? Did I present the wrong thing? No, what's the evidence in the locker? Do we have her in the profile? No. Now I'm confused. Oh, okay. It's the 4 pillars, I get it. You know that the Inquisition is corrupt and will bend to the nobility. But what would happen if a powerful noble were publicly involved in this case? With that noble's influence, they'd probably order the Inquisition to conceal their involvement. A high-profile noble is involved in this case, Mr. Steelwind, and I believe that noble is Miriam Frega. Again with this, do you think you can bluff me by throwing out names of random nobles? Not every noble is a malevolent criminal like Gary Pierce. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I guess it doesn't involve the Fregas. Nothing about this case has anything to do with House Frega. Yeah, that's wrong. Then how do you explain this, Steelwind? The commander told us that you were following a lead in the locker room yesterday. We investigated the lockers of students from the 4 pillar families, and we found stains of blood in a locker with Miriam Frega's ID number, and it was presumably left by a bloody object. The bloody object was taken by someone, and we heard that you became extremely paranoid after you found something in the locker room. If I had to guess, I'd say that you took the bloody object as evidence. And what evidence do you have to support these outrageous claims? What? The only thing you have is evidence of a blood stain. There's a myriad of explanations for that. Everything else you mentioned is pure speculation. Can't prove that piece of evidence exists. I could have found any number of things in that room, or possibly nothing at all. If you don't present what you found to the court, I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of the locker to the stand. Oh. And evidence pursuant to now see how wrong that is? It's not big point, Miss Silverman. Anyone can tell that the bloodstain is the most notable thing in that room. I don't think she responds well to threatening. I mean, I don't know, it could be either one. Okay, let's not be coy, Miss Silverman. Anyone can tell that the bloodstain is the most noble thing in that room. How are you so sure? You weren't there with me doing my investigation. As I said, a number of things could have happened to change my behavior. Ah, she's playing devil's advocate. Then I guess this one. You found an object in the locker with Miriam Frega's nameplate on it. If you don't present what you found to the court, I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of that locker room to the stand. That's ridiculous. We both know that the locker in question belongs to Wallace Nightgrave. Can you unequivocally prove that, Miss Human? Because the way I see it, there's a lot of room for doubt there. Enough doubt for me to pull Miss Frega onto the witness stand. But if I had more context, maybe I wouldn't have to resort to that. Argument 1. Let's go. Well played, Mr. Cuthbert. I suppose I don't have a choice, do I? You successfully persuaded Arya Sealwyn. Let's go then. The truth. Just so we're clear, I wasn't acting to protect the nobility. But I'll admit that Miriam Frega was the other witness that saw Belwood that day. I see. I had some suspicions, but I saw another matter. Sealwyn looks uneasy. When I was investigating the body, I found this. Evidence of academic dishonesty. A tightly packed folder containing several documents. The documents contain evidence detailing multiple instances of plagiarism, fraud, bribery of school officials, and various other offenses committed by Miriam Frega. Crazy. What the? It looks like Miriam's been cheating at school. But why would Bellwether have something like that? From the way it's arranged, I think it might have been blackmail. Miriam Frega is considered a prodigy in the practice of conjuration magic. She's won a litany of awards, and she will most definitely graduate with honors. If these files were to reach the public, it would absolutely ruin her reputation. Do you think that the professor was trying to threaten her? It appears so. When I discovered this, several elements of the case were still unknown. I decided to look through her belongings, and I mistakenly looked through the locker with her ID. I found this in that locker. Bloody rapier. A rapier covered in blood. It was found in Wallace Nightgrave's locker. Apparently, it's a valuable family heirloom to the House Frega. It's reported stolen by Miriam Frega weeks before the murder. It's very likely that this is the murder weapon. This rapier is a valuable family heirloom across Frega. And a few weeks ago, Miriam reported that the rapier was stolen from her room. And then it was found in Wallace's locker. Not that I'm complaining, but why didn't you present this in court? To be honest, I'd like to avoid him involving House Frega by any means necessary. I knew it. You're just protecting her, aren't you? Miss Coy, do you recall how Wyvern Guard justice system works? To acquit a defendant, you need to unequivocally prove that they didn't commit the crime. To do that, they either need a solid alibi, or we need to prove that someone else committed the crime. What do you suppose will happen if you bring Miriam Frega onto the stand? House Frega won't allow one of its members to be indicted in the court of law. They'll plant and forge evidence to implicate your defendant. And they'll use the Inquisition to do so. So that's why you've been keeping them away from the investigation. Can't you do anything? The Steelwinds are powerful too, aren't they? I don't have the support of my house. Right now, I'm just a prosecutor, nothing more. Steelwind, you know that this isn't fair for us. Just do nothing. Do nothing and let us win. Celeste, if we can't go after Miriam, then you can at least help us save Wallace. I'm not going to do that. Why? What if Miriam Frega is the real killer? Her sword is the murder weapon, and Bellwether was trying to blackmail her. I seem to recall another case where an innocent person's sword was used to frame them. As a prosecutor, it is not my place to decide who's guilty and who's not. I won't engage in corruption, even if it is to counter the corruption from another noble house. I'm sorry. Do you know where Miriam is right now? Didn't you hear what I just said? You can't let her think that there's even the slightest possibility you'll indict her. She'll bring the entire wrath of House Frega down on you. Regardless, I can't do anything for Wallace unless I know everything that happened. Frega has the last piece I need to put everything together. Well, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Her dormitory is room 107. I imagine she'll be there considering classes are suspended. Thank you, Steelwind. If I don't tell you, I'm sure you'll probably just find out using some other means. But please, Mr. Cuthbert, be careful. Well, time to tell her we're gonna put her on the stand and whoa. That is a very goth room. You follow Miss Steelman's directions to find Miriam Frega's dorm room. The door leading inside seems a lot more ornately decorated than the other dorms. You go to knock on the door, but you don't realize that it's only partially closed. As your fist comes into contact with the wood, you accidentally push the door wide open. Excuse me, how dare you barge into my room? These insects have no respect. Sorry, I meant to knock, but... Construct, remove these hoodlums from my room. Acknowledged. From the corner of the room, an arcane construct stands up and starts making its way towards you. Before you can protest, it raises its fist to hit you. Oh. You only have enough time to raise your arms and brace yourselves for the impact. You close your eyes and wait for the blow. But instead, you hear the clang of steel against steel. Whoa, she angry. Confused, you open your eyes and see Celeste standing between you and the construct. Her sword is drawn and she's using it to block the construct's fists. Upon taking a closer look at Celeste, the student stares curiously at her. Construct, stand down. Acknowledged. I forgot what voice I gave the professor, which is the voice the constructs used, so... Well, I'm terribly sorry for that. I wasn't aware that this was your servant. Celeste looks angry but puts away his sword without a word. I haven't noticed you around campus. Are you a new student? If she has a personal attendant, she must be important. What? You see an opportunity. Yes, my master just enrolled here, actually. What? Celeste gives you a puzzled look, but you make a silent gesture back. Acknowledged? Oh yeah. We are so aggro right now. After a moment, she seems to realize what you're doing. Yes, I just started here. I take it you're Miriam Frege? Yes, I'm honored that you recognize me. Miriam Frege, occupation student. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss... I'm Celeste. She catches herself and pauses for an awkward moment. Steelwind. I'm Celeste Steelwind. Wow, you can't believe her. There's no way she's going to believe. Steelwind? It's a pleasure to meet another member of such an esteemed house. She must be from a branch family. Maybe I can use her. Wait, she's actually buying this? I mean, if she has to cheat on all her, like, tests and stuff, then yeah, I guess she can't be that bright, can she? I just moved in, and I thought that I should introduce myself. Like how Celeste Steelwind in quotes. Seeing as you're a top student in the field of conjugation. Conjuration? Yes, that... Well, there's no backing out, no. Well, I mean, she seems to buy it. Miss Frege, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions about... Excuse me, I don't believe anyone has permitted you to speak. Oh, here we go. Celeste is still smiling, but you can faintly hear her grinding her teeth together. So, you heard about what happened to Professor Belbeth? Oops, excuse me, that was probably loud. I can't believe it. Yes, it's quite tragic what happened to her. She has always been an acquaintance of House Frege. She appears to be more receptive to Celeste. It might be better to let her take the lead in the questioning. Well, murder. We heard that you saw her on the day of the murder. Could you tell us more about what happened? Oh, you heard about that from your relative, did you? If you don't mind me asking, why are you so interested? It's not like Aria, is she? You know, I'm just curious is all. You know how uneventful life can be sometimes. Being a noble and all. Alright, tone it down. Oh, is that all? I was worried you were going down the same path as that poor confused Aria. What did she mean by that? I'm in the middle of a study break anyways. I suppose I have some time to sate your curiosity. Construct, please prepare us some tea. Use that lotus tea we imported from the Eastern Kingdoms. She could be useful if I can win her favor. You know, speaking of tea, got my tea. Acknowledged. A lotus tea? You have lotus juice? You feel like you're slowly losing control of the situation. Rip. What do you see? I heard that you saw the professor on the day of the murder. Where did this happen? I was in the hallway when I saw her coming out of the headmaster's office. She was heading towards the library. Do you remember what time this happened? Oh, I'm not really sure, honestly. It's a little embarrassing, but I have a bad habit of getting too absorbed in my work. Sometimes I'll let the entire hours pass by without noticing. Yes. Do you have a rough idea, at least? I think it was in the morning. She thinks it was in the morning? But anyways, did anything seem off about her? No, it was a short encounter. I merely greeted her, and she responded in kind. Or at least, that's what should have happened. That thought just now, what does it mean? You slowly glance at Celeste and catch her attention. In small motions, you shake your head to indicate that Miriam is holding something back. Are you and the professor really on good terms? I heard she was pretty mean towards the other students. Towards the riffraff, maybe, but not to students like us. She was a great ally to House Frege, or at least she used to be. That's why we were planning on appointing her as the new headmaster. Wait, what did you just say? Uh-oh. Did you just say that your family was going to appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster? Oh, I'm surprised you didn't know. House Frege holds several seats on the Academy's board. We were making plans to have her replace that loud Redmond. They were going to sack the headmaster? Did Headmaster Redmond know about this? Oh, of course not. This is part of a large-scale plan. Along with the Red Mart, we were also going to replace all of the staff members with arcane constructs. We had to keep everything under wraps, or else the help would have left prematurely. And where would that leave us? But Dan supposedly overheard Bellwether talking about the constructs. Did Bellwether prematurely reveal the plan? Or was Jan lying about how he found out? But alas, with Bellwether gone, we'll have to delay our plans. Okay, Bellwether's plan. As Frege was planning to fire the headmaster Theodore Redmond and replace him with Catherine Bellwether, they were also planning to fire all the Academy staff and replace them with arcane constructs. This was supposed to be kept a secret, but according to Jan, Bellwether revealed his plan to the headmaster and Redmaster during a meeting a few weeks ago. Okay. So, we heard that Arya took your rapier as evidence for the case. Can you believe her? She still won't give it back to me. My father will have my head if I can't get it back soon. How did it even become part of the investigation anyways? I don't know. Everyone tell me anything. I swear, if that necromancer was the one who stole it, I'll execute him myself. So, someone did steal it from you? Yes, from right out of my room. When did this happen? About a few weeks ago. I noticed when I came back from one of my classes. Someone removed the rapier from its display case in my room. How did that get into your room in the first place? Do you think someone used magic to teleport past the door? Please, I am a master of conjuration magic. If someone attempted that, my enchantments would have shunted them out. This means the thief came through one of the doors or windows. I bet it was that necromancer. I'm sure a street child like him just knows how to pick a lock. Oh yeah, she's not happy about that one. You're great. I've heard that you're one of the Academy's top students. Your grades must be amazing. Of course, as the inheritor of House Frege, my grades are impeccable. It feels good to have my greatness recognized. That's strange. You don't see anything contradictory through the eye this time. You make a gesture towards Celeste to continue pressing her. What kind of magic do you study here? You must be joking. I study magic from the School of Conjuration. Just like most members of my house. The School of Conjuration. That's the type of magic that specializes in spatial manipulation and teleportation, right? Yes, I consider myself quite expert in that field. Why, Crown Prince himself has asked for my assistance in research study. It's nice to work with someone of my caliber. Again, you don't see any thoughts that contradict what she's saying. Does that mean she's not lying? If she's smart enough to get the Crown Prince's attention, why would she be cheating? You said something about my wayward relative before. Were you talking about Arya? Oh, I'm terribly sorry if I offended you, but I'm sure it must pain you to see the way that she's been acting lately. Yes, it's been extremely hard. Hang in there, Celeste. Did you know that she's even interrogated me about the murder yesterday? Can you believe it? A sea-wind running around a crime scene like a common knight. Why, if I tried something like that, my father would disown me. Doesn't the nobility not approve of Steelwind becoming a prosecutor? You always thought that it is strange. What is motivating her to do this? Honestly, she probably thinks she can do anything just because of her betrothed. Asta deserves better. Huh? Celeste's eyes perk up upon hearing this. Uh-oh. We are... ready your teas, folks. This is gonna be a Gossip Girl conversation. It'd be lying if you weren't also curious about who this Esther is. But you shoot her a stern look that tells her to stay focused. No, I wanted the gossip. The tea. You can't risk blowing your cover for some gossip. But the tea. You have an arcane construct in your room. I thought they only had them in the library and the locker room. This construct was a gift from House Sanctus. I have to say, they're quite convenient to have around. They look really cool. Maybe I should get one. You should. The construct would be far more useful than this attendant of yours. Smiling through the anger. Unfortunately, there are still some issues with their intelligence. Their intelligence? There are issues when you give them complex commands. It might be easier to show you. Miriam turns to the construct and begins gesturing towards it. Construct, please retrieve my textbooks and bring them here. Then cast Seal and Strike at this location. After that, retrieve some plates and set them out at this table. Acknowledged. What? The Construct sends out and retrieves Miriam's textbooks from one of the shelves in the room. Brings them to the table you're sitting at, just like she ordered. But then it suddenly stops moving. Wait, what happened? The Construct obviously can cast Steal and Strike, so my second command was impossible to carry out. But did you notice something else? I ignored your third command too. Correct. My third command was possible to carry out. So why did I ignore that command? Constructs execute a series of commands in the order that they're given. But let's say one of those tasks is impossible to complete. When that construct gets through that task, it will deem the entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether. So if a task is in a series of commands is impossible, then that command will interrupt the sequence of commands. Exactly. Huh. Construct's logic limitation. Limited algorithm. Oh. And then we're going to replace the entire school of staff with these things. I mean, yeah, you know how it is. They just want to get rid of all the commoners, right? And replace them with these things. Arcane constructs process tasks in the order that they are given. If the construct is ordered to complete a task A, B, and C, we process each of those tasks individually. If task B is impossible, the construct won't realize this until it reaches task B. When it reaches task B, it will deem the entire series of commands as impossible and stop what it's doing without even attempting to complete task C. Lady Steelwind, I'm afraid we must leave now if we want to make our next engagement. Oh, right. Let's go, servant. Oh, leaving already? It was a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, sure. I hope to see you around. Wow. You make your way back to the foyer with Celeste. With all the time you spent, you only have a brief amount of time before night falls. Damn, that took long. Are you sure you didn't want to talk to her more? We were getting a lot out of her. We already got a lot of useful information out of her. The more time we spend with her, the more likely she is to see through our ruse. Right. So, why Steelwind? I don't know, I panicked. Aria's like the only noble I know. What about Pierce? I'm not using that creep's name. Well, hopefully Steelwind doesn't mind us borrowing her name. And we got her statement on what she saw that day. And there's also what she said about her rapier. I bet she was lying when she said it was stolen. She was probably trying to establish an alibi. I'm not so sure. Why do you say that? Doesn't it feel too obvious? If she was lying about the rapier being stolen, that would imply that she planned all of this evidence. But if she had to choose a murder weapon, why would she choose something that literally has her name on it? I don't understand if the murder weapon was a spur-of-the-moment decision. She might have just used something nearby in this case. But if this was a premeditated murder committed by Miriam, then a rapier would be the last weapon she would choose. Right. I guess that makes sense. There's also the evidence of academic dishonesty. Ugh. It doesn't match up with what we heard from Miriam. You mean all that stuff about working with the Crown Prince? She was probably just making things up to look good in front of me. I have an insight when it comes to things like this. Under normal circumstances, I can usually tell when someone's lying. And a lie as grandiose as that would be something I would definitely see through. People can subconsciously shield themselves from the eye of Horus, even if they don't know about it. But when they do that, you usually can't see any thoughts from them. You also saw that she was lying about her encounter with Bellwether. You would have seen dissonant thoughts if she was lying about her grades. Well, I guess I'll trust your insight. But what does this mean? I don't know. Even with everything we found, I'm still not sure who the real culprit is. Probably the headmaster. At the very least, I think we should still try to pull Miriam onto the stand. If she testifies in court, I might be able to find something I can use. But that's a big maybe. If you don't play your cards right, you might spook the fraggers enough for them to pay off the judge. Either way, it's getting late. You'll probably have to turn in soon. Yeah, I just hope you did enough to acquit Wallace. Well, we'll be saving our game. Courtroom. Oh yeah, I forgot that this case was called The Walking Dead. A very good name. Bam. I'm still pouring myself some tea. I don't know if you can even hear that, honestly. Maybe you can only hear it when I'm talking. But I usually have a noise gate that should negate that. Court is now resumed for the trial of Wallace Nightgrave. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. It was revealed that the trace of necromancy may not have been left by the defendant. It may have been left by a witness who used necromancy to attempt to heal the victim. However, the victim was seen by witnesses well after her time of death. This could be explained by the defendant using necromancy to animate the victim's body. This leaves the question, where did the murder take place? Does the prosecution have an answer for this? Based on the testimonies of several witnesses, it is very likely that the murder took place in the library. Interesting. What led you to this conclusion, Monsieur Wynne? First, I'd like to remind the court where the victim was sighted before the body was found. It began when the victim had a meeting with the headmaster near the center of the building. Our meeting was scheduled for 12 p.m. According to my schedule for that day, our meeting lasted for an hour. This brings us to the statement of the next witness, a student at the academy. The student saw the victim walking in the hallways. I saw her coming out of the headmaster's office. She was heading towards the library. Which means that our first witness saw Bellwether leave the headmaster's office. Presumably, this would have happened after meeting her there. That would time this encounter at around 1 p.m. In other event, the discovery of the body, which was when Valentina Ionis contacted security. I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in the classroom. Valentina used a communications device to call for help, while I tried to save her. As we've already established, this event occurred at 3 or 4 p.m. But the significance of this time is in what occurred before the body was discovered. The second witness, a member of the cleaning staff, spotted the victim in the west wing hallway. Bellwether knocked over a vase, and there were shards of dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. This means that this encounter must have happened no later than 2:30 p.m. And this implies that the victim was near the library between 1 p.m. and 2:30. According to the defendant's statement, he was in the library during this time period. Furthermore, the time of death was at 2:07 p.m. Wait, wasn't it 2:01? This means that Mr. Hughes saw the victim's animated body. Sylvan's deduction has been added to your notes. Okay, the prosecution's theory lists are the following timeline for Catherine Bellwether's movements on the day of the murder. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Theodore Redmond has a meeting with Bellwether. 1 p.m., Miriam Fragger saw Bellwether walking in the hallways. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., Bellwether spent time in the library. 2 p.m. to 2:30, Wallace Nightgrave murdered Bellwether. 2:30, Jan Hughes witnessed Bellwether walking towards the lecture hall 2B. 3 p.m., the Ian sisters discovered Bellwether's body. The weird thing is, I mean, he was with us. I mean, yes, of course, we didn't see him the entire time, but like, you know, kind of a leap to assume that he could have just murdered her with like a whole bunch of students around. I see. Your deduction certainly tracks, Monsieur Wynne. What do you have to say in your defense, Mr. Cuthbert? The prosecution's arguments is definitely well thought out, Your Honor. However, it is entirely predicated on the testimonies of all the witnesses involved. Sylvan's deduction has to have a hole somewhere. And since your conversation yesterday, you've had a feeling that Miriam is hiding something. If you want to get to the truth, you need to drag that out of her through a cross-examination. Your Honor, to test the validity of these claims, the defense would like both of these witnesses to testify. The defense calls Miriam Frega to the stand. I like how we still call her to the stand, even though, I mean, we didn't promise her that we wouldn't do that, but, like, we kind of implied that we wouldn't do that, so, Frega. At the mention of her name, the judge's face turns a bit pale. I had a feeling it would come to this. Do you have any objections, Miss Stewin? I do not, Your Honor. Very well. Bailiff, please escort Lady Frega to the stand. She's peace. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the... You little snakes! How dare you deceive me? Oh, it looks like she found out. I had the opportunity to brief the witness beforehand. Miss Coy, for the record, I told you to exercise discretion. I did not mean that you should impersonate a member of my family. Yeah, sorry about that. I gave you all of the tea that I imported from the Eastern Kingdoms. I demand that you return it to me. And now you gave them to me. They're legally mine now. I'm not sure what your business with the witnesses, McCoy, but I'd ask you to please handle your personal disputes outside the courtroom. Anyways, Miriam, could you please testify to the court about your encounter with the victim? Very well. Witness testimony. I was working on a research project in my dorm room when I decided to take a break. Next case, the stolen tea. You know what? That is the real one. The real case. I left my room and went on a walk. That's when I saw Professor Bellwether exiting the headmaster's office. She was walking in my direction, so I greeted her and she responded in kind. After that, she headed towards the library. A short time after that, I went back to my room and continued my work. I see. So it was only a brief encounter. However brief it was, the witness's testimony verifies two things. One is that Miss Frega saw the professor exiting the headmaster's office. That'd be so bad. The other is that she witnessed the victim head towards the library. This gives us a rough timeline of where the victim was before her death. That does seem consistent. Did Bellwether really enter the library that day? I feel like you would have seen her if she did. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. I feel like we're gonna have to press her on her greeting the professor, but we're gonna press everything anyway, so... Was this research project a part of your schoolwork? It was an independent study to develop a new conjuration spell formula. The project is being sponsored by the Crown Prince himself. I wasn't aware that he was involved in such a study. Wait, is that her fiancé? Of course you wouldn't. You'd expect to know every aspect of his life, dear Ariel. You sense a bit of aggression. If you don't keep an eye on him, Boss Frega might just steal him from you. Okay, definitely. As if His Highness would align himself with your rapacious family. Our banking houses form the economic infrastructure of our kingdom, but perhaps he'll come to the Steelwinds if he needs to clear a den of goblins. With all due respect, may we please focus on the matter at hand? Of course, Your Honor. The girls are fighting. And you sure that you saw her exit the headmaster's office? Yes, I remember clearly. I was surprised that she was still meeting with the headmaster at all. She must be talking about how they were plotting to replace him. Did you interact with the professor at all, Miriam? Yes. Did anything seem off about her? No, but it was a very short encounter. It's not as if we stopped to have a conversation. You said that you greeted her and she responded. What words did she use? Why is that important? Miss Frega, it's possible that someone used illusion magic that day. Every detail about the victim's interactions could be important. Well, I bid her good morning, and she said good morning in response. Okay. I mean, it wasn't morning. It would have been like around 1 p.m. I think. And I mean, she obviously already said that she is a bit weird with time sometimes, but oh man. Did you see her enter the library? I didn't, but there's not much else in that direction. From the testimony we heard, we know that she later came from the library. Even if she didn't enter the library, she was still in that area for more than an hour. So if that actually was a construct, maybe it then hidden order it couldn't carry out, so it was just stuck there for an hour in that area. She was just standing there menacingly. How long did you leave your dorm room? Only for a few minutes, and try not to let my breaks go for too long. And you didn't see the professor again after your first encounter? No, I did not. Her testimony seems pretty straightforward, but she could still be lying. I'm honestly not sure. We'll just have to focus on her statements about how Bellwether acted. Good morning, and she responded in kind. Wait. I don't know if that's like a valid thing to dispute. Like, it was not morning. Why would she have said good morning? Like, I feel like that would be a weird thing to disprove. Okay. That was that. That was a deduction. 1 p.m. Wait, can we press this again? She changed that, right? And you're certain that nothing seemed off about her? Yes, like I said, it's a very short encounter. Why did she say that? It only happened over a few seconds? The witnesses interactors are not what's important here. What matters is that she witnessed where the victim came from and where she went afterward. Okay, she was being like, yeah, that was weird. So, are we gonna be claiming it's because of the time? Objection! Objection! Miss Fragger, if I recall correctly, you have a habit of getting absorbed in your work. So much so that you'll even lose track of the time of day. Yes, but what does that have to do with my testimony? Early in today's proceedings, the prosecutor made the following argument. You were stuck on this part for so long? Damn. I mean, it is a bit of a leap. Didn't notice the good morning discrepancy. Oh wait, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a big leap to make, but a first witness saw Bellwether leave the meeting with the headmaster. That would time this encounter at around 1 p.m. Miss Fragger, if you had said good morning to the professor, you would have been mistaken, because that encounter could have only happened during the afternoon. And your point is, you said it yourself, Mr. Cuthbert, the witness simply lost track of time. What the witness said isn't what's important here. The significance is in what the professor said in response. She had just come out of a meeting that was scheduled for noon. She would be well aware that it was no longer morning. So why would she respond good morning? Wouldn't she have corrected the witness? Their encounter was extremely short, and the victim's mind may have been preoccupied. She could have easily responded to the witness without thinking. I'm going to be honest, I kind of agree with her. Yeah, almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. True. Although in my mind, that actually makes sense, you know? If you say almost Christmas right before midnight, and then, you know, at least there was an argument there. This seems, I mean, I get it, we're pointing out the contradictions, but this seems a bit of a stretch. It's not hard to believe that they were both confused about the time. It's definitely a stretch. Thank you. At least he admits it. But you still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. Every time you ask her about how Bellwether acted that day, the eye picks something up. There has to be something there. Miss Frega, you haven't been entirely truthful in testimony, have you? I mean, today is almost Christmas, so know what you want. True. It's only, goddamn, my brain. It's only 7 months until Christmas, right? That's absurd. What reason would I have to lie? It's such a small detail. What does he even care? Every detail about how she acted is important, Miss Frega. What aren't you telling us? Mr. Cuthbert, you have no basis to accuse the witness of perjury. Yes, you will stop this at once. Miss Frega, you are lying about how Bellwether responded to your greeting, aren't you? It doesn't make a difference. All she did was yell at me. All she did was yell? Miss Frega, is it possible that Bellwether's response was less than friendly? What do you care? What difference does it make? Why is he being so persistent? My job is to make sure every part of your testimony is truthful. Every detail matters, no matter how seemingly insignificant. Mr. Cuthbert, you will stop this, or I will find you in contempt. The professor yelled at you, didn't she, Miss Frega? So what if she did? I mean... I'm sorry, there's no going back on what you just said. So, you do admit that she yelled at you? Arg, you impertinent little... Yes, I admit it. The professor didn't greet me back that day. Oh, good morning, Professor. Be quiet. Oh, that's right, it's over the top. For that, it's funny. She yelled at me to be quiet. But until then, we had always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood. But that's it. Everything else I said was the truth. Believe me, right? I did see her come out of the headmaster's office and walk towards the library. That part is true. So she wasn't lying about that. So, is that all, Mr. Cuthbert? What do you mean, is that all? You badgered this witness all so you could prove what, exactly? The witness committed perjury. The witness changed a small detail of her testimony. A detail that is inconsequential to the case. It was clearly an act with no malicious intent. After seeing her thoughts, it's hard to disagree with that. You were so sure that the eye would lead you somewhere. But Frega was only lying to save face. The witness saw the victim leave the headmaster's office and head toward the library. Do you have any concrete evidence to refute that, Mr. Cuthbert? Oh. No, I suppose I don't. Wait, is this really okay? At this rate, this will be the only chance you have to cross-examine her. I don't think she's lying anymore. And I was really pushing my luck earlier. If I continue pressing her, the judge might actually charge me with contempt. But if Miriam isn't the one that's lying, then... The defense has no further questions for the witness, Miss Tyrion. The prosecutor stays silent for a while. She almost looks disappointed. Very well. Miriam, you are dismissed. Huh. Miriam still looks like she's fuming, but she leaves the room without protest. The judge breathes a sigh of relief as the young nobles escorted out of the room. Oh man. Thank God she's gone. Now, with that out of the way, what else do you have, Mr. Cuthbert? The only way to refute the prosecutor's theory is to cast doubt on one of the witnesses. If it wasn't Miriam, then... Tyrion, to test your theory, you must question every witness that saw the victim that day. So with that said, the defense would like to call Jan Hughes to the stand. I hope you understand, Mr. Cuthbert. Your entire case rests on the assumption that one of the witnesses' accounts is incorrect. If your cross-examination of Mr. Hughes leads nowhere, then I hope you're ready to concede. You don't like the sound of it, but she's right. Unless you can find something in the Anne's testimony, you won't really have anything to disprove her theory. Bailiff, please bring in Mr. Hughes. Oh god. Doing his voice is gonna make me so sleepy. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the courtroom. Witness, name and occupation. Oh, right. My name is Jan Hughes. I'm on the cleaning staff of the academy. Mr. Hughes. Oh god. I'm already yawning. This is bad. Please testify to the court about your encounter with the professor that day. Sure. Witness testimony. I saw the professor when I was cleaning the West Wing hallways. It was 20 to 30 minutes before the body was discovered. She walked to me, but she looked pretty out of it. I heard she was undead when this happened. Pretty creepy, if you ask me. After that, she went into the empty classroom. Well, that was straightforward. Come on, Jan. What are we supposed to do with that? I don't know. You guys are the lawyers. I'm just telling you what I saw, man. Mr. Cuthbert. You may go to bed now. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination. How are you so sure that it was 30 minutes before? I always check the time to make sure I'm on schedule. I was supposed to finish cleaning the halls by 3 p.m. Right, the body was discovered at 3:04. What was the professor like, Mr. Hughes? Did anything else look off about her? I mean, yeah, she was an undead after all. That remains to be proven. If you say so. Anyways, what was her demeanor like? She looked like she was in a bad mood. Either that or she was tired. But I guess she was just dead inside. Literally. Oof, man. I believe you've forgotten a few details about what the professor did. Yeah? Sorry, it's hard to remember these things sometimes. Which detail should you ask him for? Oh yeah, did she touch anything? Oh, I guess... Oh, no, wait. Did she make any sounds? Right. Right, we said that's a spell? No, wait. The... No. Animate corpse. Right. That can't... cannot speak. Okay. Did you hear her make any sounds? Oh, yeah. After she knocked over the vase, she yelled at me to be quiet. But I didn't even say anything. This detail could be extremely important. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Hughes. Whatever you say, man. I thought she went to the empty classroom. Did you see anyone else enter the classroom? I'm honestly not sure. I wasn't paying much attention to her. I did think it was weird that she went in there. With the foggy smell, I can't think of why anyone would go there willingly. Right, the headmaster's mistake, but a rancid smile in that room. He's not giving us a lot to work with. He tends to leave out details unless we directly ask him about it. I just need to ask him the right questions. Maybe we can pull out more information out of him. Wait. Oh yeah, right, she yelled at me. Okay. She yelled at you, but how? Objection! Objection! Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words? Oh, I think she yelled at me to be quiet. What? I thought it was weird. I didn't even say anything. But I know better than to talk back to her. Oh man. Speaking with half a yawn really makes you actually yawn. That's the thing, Hughes. The prosecution's theory is as such. The professor was murdered in the library and was reanimated using animate corpse. With a quick illusion spell, no one would notice that she was undead. Morgana, no. Don't tell me to go to sleep, please. However, if what you saw was truly the undead Bellwether, how did she speak to you? Huh? This doesn't make any sense. Mr. Hughes, undead can follow simple orders, but they can't have the intelligence to speak. Perhaps the witness was mistaken. No, I'm sure I heard her yell at me. I remember because what she said didn't make any sense. Exactly. He didn't say anything, but she still yelled at him to be quiet. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm afraid I don't understand. We've already established that the victim is dead. Oh no, not the judge too. Oh no. But but what he saw wasn't an undead. What was it? It had to be an undead. What other explanation is there? It couldn't have been a major illusion. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to shove Ian out of the way or knock over the vase. Whatever it was, someone probably used illusory disguise to make it look like Bellwether. Does that mean it was a person? No, if there was a person, how did Bellwether's body end up in the lecture hall? Bellwether wouldn't have been able to turn herself invisible if she was dead. And whatever Jan saw, it needs to be something that could have transported Bellwether's body unseen. It would have also needed to have mass and the ability to speak, or create Bellwether's voice. Or at the very least, it needs to be something that can recreate Bellwether's voice. What could have done that? Oh! Called it. That's it! Huh? Do you have an answer for us, Mr. Cuthbert? What did the witness actually see? Your Honor, the witness didn't actually hear the dead victim speaking. What he actually heard was her voice being recreated using magic. Are you trying to say that her voice was recreated using a spell? Not a spell, Steelwind. It was artificery. And whoever the murderer is, they had the perfect piece of artificery available to them. One programmed with Catherine Bellwether's voice. Ah, you can't possibly mean... That's right, Steelwind. What Mr. Hughes saw was an arcane construct. An arcane construct? Think of it as a magically animated suit of armor, Your Honor. But we ruled out such a possibility, hadn't we? Construct or not, no one could disguise themselves and carry the body to the classroom. A person wouldn't have been able to do it. But arcane constructs are a different thing entirely. Those suits of armor are extremely large, and more importantly, they're hollow. I see. That means that theoretically someone could have placed the victim's body inside it. The arcane construct wouldn't just transport the body. With an illusory disguise, it will also confuse and mislead anyone who saw it. Crazy man.
Objection!
Huh. I commend your deduction, Mr. Cuthbert. I would have never considered that possibility. It's certainly plausible, but what does it prove exactly? It proves that the body wasn't animated using necromancy. My client isn't the murderer. The defendant is still capable of performing all the acts that you described. His compendium contains illusory disguise, after all. There were several students in the library that day. Any of them could have committed the murder. One might come to that conclusion if they didn't have one crucial piece of evidence. I'd like to present a new piece of evidence to the court. Not the rapier, no. From under her table, you see Miss Steelwind pull out the bloody rapier. Blood? Is that... Yes, Your Honor. This is the murder weapon. What? She was saving that for the perfect moment, wasn't she? That rapier was reported stolen by Miriam Frege weeks before the murder. And during the investigation, it was finally found in the defendant's locker. Wait! He was clearly trying to use one of her possessions in a paltry attempt to frame her. Why, he even stole her locker's nameplate and placed it over his. Damn it, that's not what happened. But honestly, sounds more plausible than what really took place. Well, we're basically back to square one, aren't we? Anyone could have told the construct to do all those things. Wait, anyone? Is that really true? Construct transported the professor's body, and someone used an illusion to make it look like her. They even used a pre-recorded voice to make the illusion more convincing. Who ordered the construct to hide the body? I mean, if we're going with a special command, that's gotta be the headmaster, right? Could anyone have done that? No. Wait. Yeah, just for... No, that's not right. Available to all the students, but not their functions are enabled. Will their function of also... Oh, okay, I do that. Okay. Several memories flood back to you. Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were the exact words? I think she yelled at me to be quiet. She yelled at me to be quiet, but until then we had always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood. Be quiet. Sorry. Be quiet. Iris begins giggling. She seems amused by what's happening. The construct's voice is just a series of pre-recorded messages. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it uses the voice of Professor Bellwether. Unfortunately, I can't make them say anything other than what's recorded. Only the headmaster can change those settings. No, it can't be him. What is it, Tyrion? I mean, he has a motive. If he knew that he was gonna be replaced by her, then, well, did he figure something out? I did. But is he seriously the one behind all this? Miss Steelwind, earlier said that my client could have orchestrated this entire ruse. But that's simply not true. How so? Anyone could have ordered the construct to carry out the victim's body. Yes, but not everyone can change what the constructs are able to say. Only one individual has the credentials for that. Theodore Redmond, headmaster of the Imperial Academy. Whoa. Wait, you're not serious, are you? You think the headmaster did all this? I don't want to believe it. But he's the only person who could have done it. That's completely ridiculous. Headmaster Redmond would never do something like this. Miss Steelwind, there's one common element between each of the witnesses' encounters with Bellwether. It's what Bellwether said to them. She yelled at both of them to be quiet. Miriam Frege was particularly surprised. She had a good relationship with the professor, but when greeted by the professor, Bellwether just shouted at her. Almost as if the professor was responding indiscriminately. And recall her encounter with the N. Hughes. The professor knocked over a vase and shouted at him to be quiet immediately after, even though he hadn't said anything. She was responding to the sound of the vase breaking. Now let me ask you this, Steelwind. Where did Bellwether come from before she encountered Miss Frege and Mr. Hughes? Her meeting with the headmaster. Uh-oh. The plot thickens. Bonk. It appears that the defense truly means to indict Theodore Redmond. If so, we have no choice but to take a brief recess until he can be brought here. Well, there's no need. That was not the voice I gave him, but it's close, I think. Fortunately for you, I'm already in the gallery. The headmaster stood up from the gallery seats behind you and slowly walked onto the witness stand. Has he been here the entire time? Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Cuthbert. But do you think I am the one who committed this crime? I'm sorry, Redmond, but no matter how I look at it, everything I found points to you. No, there's no need to apologize. In fact, I should commend you on the length that you're going to defend dear Wallace. The court appreciates your understanding, Sir Redmond. I am very angry, though. Now then, to clear the air, I suppose I should give my testimony on what happened that day. Witness testimony. That day, I had a meeting scheduled with the professor at noon. She showed up at the expected time, and we discussed various administrative matters. Our meeting went on for an hour, after which she left to prepare for her next class. Despite our many disagreements, we still knew how to be civil with one another. After all, I had no reason to bear a personal grudge against her. We can already disprove that one. I just can't see it. He seems like such a nice person. Is he really the person we're looking for? He has to be. No one else could have orchestrated this entire plot. We just need to find out how and why. I feel like why is the easier answer to that. It's the easier question, I should say. And with that, I poured my last cup of tea. I'm basically like Godot. I have my prepared amount of coffees I drink, and I don't drink more than that, except for coffee is tea. And I'm limited by the amount of tea I can brew beforehand, while quota is basically unlimited. Okay. What was this meeting for? Oh, nothing of note, except I'm being very angry about it. We were merely discussing her daily operations and duties within the academy. In an academy such as ours, it is beneficial to regularly communicate with the staff. So she showed up at exactly 12 p.m? More or less. Catherine Bellwether was many things, but she was never tardy. I'm still angry though. There aren't any witnesses who saw her before the meeting, so you don't have any way to disprove that what she's saying. It'd be best to look elsewhere in its testimony. How long did this meeting last, Headmaster? An hour. So that means the professor left her office at 1 p.m? Yes, she was quite adamant about taking time to prepare her lesson plans. Now that I think about it, Fragga had no idea what the time was when she saw Bellwether. If the headmaster is lying about when the meeting ended, there'd be no way to verify it, which would account for the hour gap that Stillwind mentioned. Damn it, did the headmaster really do this? After hearing so much about her, I find it a little hard to believe. I can see why you'd say that, but despite everything, I was still her superior. She always remained professional when speaking with me. Is that really true though? No. Really, even after the way she acted towards the students and faculty? Make no mistake, I've heard many complaints regarding her actions, and I've had many conversations with her to try to correct her behavior. But at the end of the day, she was a remarkable professor, regardless of her lack of people skills. His testimony pretty much matches what we know so far. I'm not entirely sure if he was lying or not, but at the very least we know that he was involved in the professor's murder. But why? We can't figure out this motive. You might be able to find out how to reveal him to the court. Okay, we still up with the other. No reason to bear a grudge. No. Where's the one? Oh. I mean, we still don't know if the plagiarism is true though or not. I still think it's more about how he was gonna be like, or like how she was gonna be appointed as the headmaster. My god, I can't talk anymore. That's the deduction. Where do we have that? Yeah. I was planning to file the academy stuff. Objection! Objection! Redmond, did you really hold no animosity towards Professor Bellwether? Of course not. I did have strong opinions about her methods of teaching, but I always remained professional. We both did. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. In fact, I think you might have had a very good reason to murder the professor, considering that she was going to take your job. What? So you knew about that? I'm sorry, but I don't follow. Just how was the professor going to take the headmaster's job? According to Miss Miriam Fragga, Catherine Bellwether was currying favor with the noble families. In fact, there was a plan to oust Mr. Redmond and appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster of the academy. What? But in any case, I doubt that the headmaster had any idea of this until now. I'd like to remind the court of the witness's reaction just now. You said, so you knew about that. That was pretty dumb of him. His reaction was one of surprise. But he wasn't surprised by this information. He was surprised that I knew this information. That's... Please, dear Aria. I may be a frail old man, but I'm perfectly capable of defending myself. If you have an explanation, Mr. Redmond, then by all means, I'd love to hear it. Gladly. Oh, he looks evil now. He opened his eyes and looked evil. Witness testimony. It is true that I knew about Fragga's plot beforehand, but I had only just learned about it. On the day of the murder, the professor told me about her plan. She was going to replace me as a headmaster, and replaced the stuff with the arcane constructs. Now you might say that this would have given me the perfect motive to murder the professor. However, the supposed murder weapon was stolen from Miss Fragger. This happened weeks before the murder and my discovery of the professor's treachery. I had no knowledge of the plan before she told me, and therefore I wouldn't have known to steal Miss Fragger's weapon in an attempt to frame her. Are you satisfied now, Mr. Cuthbert? There's no way that the headmaster could have come up with this plan. If he really did do this, that means he stole the rep here too, right? Most likely. His alibi makes sense. He couldn't have planned this whole thing unless he knew about Bellwether's plans. That would mean he knew about this weeks ago. But how did he even find out? The best way to tell a convincing lie is to leave out a lot of truth and only change one detail. Maybe Bellwether did tell him, but she actually told him weeks ago. The question is, how do you prove that? Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination? So you only learned about it recently? Doesn't that seem a bit too convenient for you? It may appear that way, yes, but... Okay. That must have infuriated you. Your colleague betrayed you and attempts to steal your job. I'm only human, of course. Of course I was taken aback. I've been headmaster of the Imperial Academy for decades. To think that the professor and the board would go around my back like that. With the professor dead, you won't have to worry about losing your job. At least, not for a while. I suppose you're correct, but there are others who benefit too. The faculty staff is not aware of Fragger's plot. With their plot delayed, they won't need to worry about abruptly losing their jobs either. But what happens if you prove that Redmond is the killer? He'll lose his job and House Fragger will just appoint someone else. No, you can't think about that now. If you don't prove Redmond's guilt, the court will convict Wallace. As the headmaster, you'd probably have tools available to get into her room. Yes, I will admit that. The academy has a master key that can be used to enter each of the students' dorms. And yes, as headmaster, I would have access to that key. And then you had the perfect way to get into a room and steal a rep here undetected. I suppose I did. However, there's one flaw with your logic. You had no knowledge. It was my understanding that Fragger wanted to keep this a secret until the very end. Why would Bellwether, of all people, tell you about her betrayal? I imagine she wanted to taunt me with that information. We've long had our disagreements, and looking back, she may have resented me for that. And that, at that point, there wasn't anything I could do to stop her. Really? I thought you and the professor were on good terms. I thought so too, but I suppose it was all a facade. She was just biding her time until she could take my position as headmaster. He had to have known about Bellwether's betrayal weeks ago. Right. Question is, how do we prove it? Do we have something that proves she knew about it before the day of the murder? I mean, if we did have that, I wouldn't be like questioning whatever we're gonna present. Okay, that's nothing. There's also nothing. Lockdown system. There's the constructs, Bellwether's plan. Oh. Being a plan a few weeks ago. Oh. Objection! What? Your Honor, that was said was contradictory. This piece of evidence proves that. I would say that proves anything, Mr. Cuthbert. Oh, I guess you're right. I guess that's not real information then. That's just what we know, but nothing proof. Okay. Wait. There appears to be an inactive arcane construct in the academy locker room. Looks like I should have Wallace. Switch their D numbers. Friends of heirloom. 4 pillars. The exertion of. Okay. Battle the win. Okay, that's not relevant. That's also not relevant. Inspiration about everyone in the academy should have a history of bullying students. No really supposition to favor the noble houses. I mean, yeah. It's just a lockdown system. I don't know what we're trying to prove here. I'll be real. MS's actions. Covered part of the battle that has been fatally wounded. There's no bruising. Just I mean, that doesn't tell us anything really. Huh. I don't know if that's something to do with the log. Every command destroyed a command log. However, this command log must be completed regularly. If that can prove anything.
Objection!
No. It was like maybe Miriam commanded something and then he got that from the command log. I don't know. This is a piece that proves it fails to prove anything. I mean, the good thing is we don't have any strikes at the courtrooms actually, so we could just try out whatever we want. I won't have known to steal the Frigga's weapon and have to frame her. I don't know. We don't really have anything to disprove that, do we? Illusion. Wait, which one did I present? Did I present this one or this one?
Objection!
About what? I don't know. Okay, this doesn't prove it. Did I present the other one?
Objection!
Okay, it's neither. Okay, that theory is confirmed not true. No knowledge of the plan before she told me, therefore I wouldn't have known to steal this weapon. Very big book containing several documents. I mean, that doesn't prove anything though. Classic Tyrion Cuthbert experience. Classic Ace Attorney experience too, honestly. At least at some points. I mean, we don't know. I mean, that doesn't do anything for deduction. Good for her. I'm still confused because the evidence says, but according to Jan Balwala revealed this plan to the headmaster during a meeting a few weeks ago. Do we present Jan then?
Objection!
I'm confused. Because the thing wasn't right. It was not right. The reader should... Also, why do we still have that piece of evidence if that says exactly the same as this one? It's a plan. Oh wait. Didn't say anything about the injuries must have... Do we have a statement about how the staff knew that they were gonna be fired? That was okay, yeah. So this is compendium. And say that. Why don't we have his other statement? That's such a rip man. And this also doesn't... This is all, like, irrelevant. What was stolen? Weeks before the murder. Am I just at the wrong testimony? Who was supposed to murder weapon stolen from his fragger 7 weeks before the murder. And that's true. I knew about the fragger's blood beforehand, but I had only just learned about it. Or do we present this here? As in, no.
Objection!
No. Okay. I fail everything too, Your Honor, don't worry about it. I just learned about it. The murder professor told me about a plan. She was going to replace me as the headmaster. I replaced the staff. And they might say they would have given me the perfect motive. However, the boss murder weapon was stolen from Miss Frey. I had the weeks before the murder. I had no knowledge of this plan before she told me. Therefore, I wouldn't have known how to steal a weapon. So, weeks ago, how to prove it? Do we have something that proves he knew about it before the day of the murder? I mean, if we did, I would have presented it already. That.
Objection!
You just present anything. I wouldn't have known to steal that.
Objection!
I'm just gonna go through everything. I mean, if you don't lose, whatever. Also, damn, he is actually older than the judge. That's crazy, man. I wonder how none just. And we'll be like, you know, illusion. So you're the evil guy. Custodian. I don't know how this relates to anything. Oh man, this is where the stream ends. We're stuck. We're so stuck. Okay, the teleporting will become relevant. I'm so sure about that. Whenever I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like Miriam's thing. Teleporting stuff. What's negative moved over and she's witness. Okay, lockdown system responsible for receiving open security. The sword.
Objection!
I should have actually kept track of what I presented already. I don't know. As my understanding, Freka wanted to keep this a secret until the very end. Why would she tell you? Manager wanted to taunt me with that information. No disagreements, like I should have presented for that. Because I think I could supper. Good terms, that's true, but I saw it. Okay, well, what if we just present... What if we just present that?
Objection!
Okay, I was about to say, what if we just present that, even though it makes no sense? Good that it didn't make sense. Otherwise I would have lost my mind. Just gonna represent headmaster. Yeah. I just learned about it.
Objection!
I don't know, man. Any ideas? There is a map. Professor told me about her plan. She was going to replace me with that master place the stuff. The constructs? Murder? 7 weeks before the murder. What if we're like...
Objection!
What if we're like... Yeah, dude, you didn't. I have no idea what we even have to disprove that.
Objection! Objection!
This happened week before the murder. Plus it was night bread.
Objection!
It was actually my client who stole the rapier. That's a very good move to do to make us a lawyer. The piece of evidence which mentions the answer but the plan is secret. What? Then I really did just present you to the false statement? On the day of the murder.
Objection!
Okay, fine. And yeah, but that happens in Ace Attorney too. I can't fault this game for that. Sometimes it just do be like that. It do be a bit frustrating. Redmond, you keep saying that you didn't know about Bellwether's plot before yesterday. Do you still plan on standing behind that claim? Of course I am, because it's the truth. I'm sorry, Redmond, but you should really close your doors during your meetings. What? Did someone see? Caught his eyes. It is true that Bellwether revealed her plan to you during one of your meetings. In fact, he and Hughes happened to overhear the same meeting. But he only overheard the part where the staff would be replaced. And that's the strangest part, Redmond. According to Mr. Hughes, this meeting occurred weeks ago. You can't accuse the headmaster of perjury based on a rumor. Everything you've just said is based on a second-hand information. Mr. Hughes distinctly overheard that the staff would be replaced with arcane constructs. That is too specific and too accurate to assume that he misheard a different conversation. The professor probably only revealed her plan to the arcane constructs. And that still doesn't prove that he knew about her treachery beforehand. Professor Bellwether had no authority over the cleaning staff's deployment. It wouldn't make sense for her to just reveal her plan for the arcane constructs. That would only make sense if he knew that Bellwether would be taking his job. So tell me one thing, Redmond. Why did you find the need to lie about this? Is it because you saw a need to protect yourself from my accusations? Redmond, I ask you a question. Did you murder Catherine Bellwether? Oh god, he does the evil enemy eye, but like to the extreme. What a fine mess this is. I'm not done. Not yet. Headmaster! So you truly plan on pushing this, are you? Well, your thesis sounded promising, Mr. Cuthbert, but I believe your arguments could use a little work. Uh-oh. We are looking at it again. Argument. Now I need to be careful. I can't just present anything. You think I killed Catherine Bellwether? Me? I am an elderly man in his late 80s. Was alone had nothing to overpower Bellwether with. I can barely walk, much less wield a rapier. Okay. What about the constructs? But you and Bellwether weren't the only people in that room, were you? You needed the arcane construct to carry Bellwether's body. That means that the construct would have already been in your office. And with your privileges, you could have easily programmed the construct to stab Bellwether for you. Even so, think about what would have transpired afterward. Recall Miss Steelwind's timeline of Bellwether's witnesses. With your theory, the construct would have spent more than an hour in the library. Having it there would have risked my so-called ruse from being discovered. Luckily, Lady Frigga can't tell night from day. Wouldn't have the construct lingered around the library. Use this against the claims the construct displayed emotion. The intuition. The timing deduced from Miss Frigga's testimony is predicated on one thing. She saw Miss Bellwether exit your office after your meeting. However, if we assume that you are lying about this meeting and when this meeting ended, your entire argument falls apart. Miss Frege would have encountered Bellwether after her death at 2:01 p.m. Miss Frege wouldn't have made a mistake like that. Miss Frege thought it was morning when she saw Bellwether. She can't reliably tell the time. Then what about where the rapier was placed? If I really was the murderer, then that would mean I planted the weapon in young Wallace's locker. Several of the students had lockers there that I had access to. Wouldn't have placed incriminating evidence in that locker. Wallace is one of my prized students. If I had to frame anyone, he would be the last person I'd choose. Is this about... No, this is about Frege. Oh, is this about his things being switched? Saying the locker belongs to one brand. Someone must have switched this. You're right, Mr. Redmond. You wouldn't try to frame Wallace, but you would try to frame Miriam Frege. It would have been the perfect act of revenge, wouldn't it? You murder your treacherous co-worker and frame the daughter of the family that helped her. But something went wrong, didn't it, Redmond? The labels on Wallace's locker and Miriam's locker were switched. Anyone who saw that would have easily mixed them up. I am the headmaster of the Imperial Academy. I have records of all the students' lockers and where they're located. There's no reason I would make a mistake like that. If I truly planned this, I would have known where Wallace's locker was. A simple change in labels wouldn't have led me to make a careless mistake like that. I wouldn't have made... There's no reason I wouldn't make a mistake like that. That's a good point, I guess. I mean, he's right. Let's pick it up and go home. I don't know what to say to that. No. Is it because she's noble and that's why you can't do that? I was planning for a headmaster. No. Are we saying that? No. Would he have placed? He probably would have placed that himself, would he? Smell things in the room. What? Did he? Are we saying that he can't see? No, that's not right. You would have noticed if the doctor said he was switched, but he... Oh, based on the shuffle then. He was the person... Oh. Okay. So it was the logic then. What? He was the person who planted the rapier. Then I'm confused. He was the one? No, she didn't have it back though. It appears in the Oh. The one in the locker room. Okay. It wasn't you, was it? You came in contact with the one who planted the rapier in the locker. Yeah. I bet you commanded it to place this rapier in the locker of Miriam Frege. But it saw the ID number of Wallace's locker and assumed that it was Miriam's. This is... Redmond begins desperately stammering, looking for something to say. Miss Steelwind, say something. What? Mr. Cuthbert, your theory may be plausible, but there's no evidence to support it. Huh, right. You don't have any proof, do you? There's no evidence of my orders in your evil pose. Saying that I could have committed the murder isn't the same as proving I did it. I mean, we can prove that there's a log. What? Wasn't there some sort of other trick the orders given to him? What's that? Every command given is stored in the command log over the command. Game, what do you want from me? That's just the logic again. That's not. What? Now I'm confused. Wait. That's the command log? That's the one. Would I just present this again? Why? Why wouldn't I present the piece of evidence that clearly says that the things have a log? Or whatever. The Arcane construct is still in the locker room where it planned the repair. All we have to do is take a look inside it and we'll see the blood inside. That's so, Mr. Cuthbert. What? Why does he still look so confident? No, Mr. Cuthbert, I already checked the inside of that construct during my investigation. The interior was completely clean. What? The construct's primary function is to assist and clean, dear Tyrion. They have a function that allows them to clean themselves inside and out. Well, we can still look at this command history, right? Think about it, Mr. Cuthbert. Do you honestly think that a murderer would leave behind evidence like that? I'm sure that whoever orchestrated this plot, they ordered the construct to wipe his log when it was finished, but it could only have been him then. No, that incriminates him even further. That's right, Mr. Cuthbert. Your case against me is theoretical at best, but I suppose I can still give you marks for trying. Damn it, you thought of everything. Was he seriously able to get rid of all the evidence? You're running out of options, but you still have one tool left. Ha! As I'm becoming to glare like that young Tyrion. He's doing it again. Bring yourself back to that moment with Garrick Pierce. Think about what's at stake for Wallace, just like you did with Celeste. His life and future are in your hands.
Naught can remain concealed.
Empowered Eye. Deactivate the Empowered Eye again. Redmond did a good job of covering his tracks, but there has to be something that he forgot to get rid of. Something he forgot to get rid of. I did everything I could to cast doubt on Frega's bread. I can't believe Valerie placed trace of necromancy in the body. To make matters worse, the construct placed the evidence in the wrong locker. So he did send the construct to the locker room to plant the evidence. He must have also fabricated the documents that accused Frega of cheating. It was all to make her look like the murderer. But this doesn't give you anything new to work with. Sword. I did everything I could to cast out of Frega's bread. Okay. Oh. That was the same. Didn't get rid of everything. Okay. Doesn't give anything. What about that? I wonder, did I leave any other pieces of evidence behind? I was far too reckless, but I needed some way to keep that lecture hall empty. Alright, he must have botched the alchemy experiment on purpose to keep the lecture hall cleared. But that doesn't really tell you anything you can use right now. Sure. I had to do everything I could to shift guilt away from myself. But did I leave any hold on my alibi? No, I accounted for everything. There's no way I left any evidence behind. Except for the fact that only you can clear the command. Or did it? Or Lee can... Because all orders were clear. Plant the body in the lecture hall 2B, and then plant the evidence in Frega's locker. It was supposed to head to the storage room afterwards. What happened? Interesting. Construct wasn't supposed to be in the locker room? I guess it found an order? Conscious order were clear, plant the body, and plant the evidence in the locker room. It's supposed to be a storage room afterwards. Oh. Where's the storage room? Oh, over there. Map. Supposed to be in the locker room. My illusion should have been flawless. I can't believe that this boy was able to deduce what happened. So much for your illusion. Wallace. Question mark? Why am I thinking of this now? Maybe. Okay. This is all the nobility's fault. This whole time they were plotting to throw me out. It's their fault that Bellwether's dead, not mine. The blood is on the hand of Fragger and the Steel Winds. Why the Steel Winds? What did they do? What did they do? Can't believe I put myself into this mess for Bellwether of all people. Why do I feel remorse for her? She deserved what happened to her. Huh. Yeah, we did present that, right? What if we're like that? Why am I thinking of that now? Think of her. This is all the nobility's fault. All them throw me out. And the Steel Winds? Why the Steel Winds? I was just thinking of myself. The stuff. Why would I would have thrown them to the street if not for what I did? Cool, but that's not any insight for us. Wait, we already did present that. That was just... It should have been clear. Do anything good? Did it holes in my alibi? Count for everything, there's no way I left evidence behind. That. Why am I thinking of this now? That. I did everything good as should go. Count for everything? Did you go? Did he account for everything? I legit don't know what to present to him, honestly. Or I wasn't doing something on myself, just stuff again. Can't believe it. If I bother of all people, why do I feel remorse for her? Can't believe it. How am I not evil? How dare I? So this might be a bit of an awkward break, but I really need to go to the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna be right back in like a few minutes. And yeah, one sec. So, crisis averted. Oh man. Back to this. First and foremost, do this. That. That's all the ability's fault. Ah! What is it, Acheron? Yes. The construct's actions. Oh, maybe I should have read that. I mean, the construct killed. The end. Why was the construct in the locker room, though? The answer to what you search? I shouldn't have been there if I had followed my orders. No matter, I wiped his logs. They have nothing on me. So you did order to wipe his logs. After I'll cover all its trackers probably would have done this last. Oh, okay, apparently we got it. Wait, he ordered the construct to go to the storage room? Would have done that after it was finished planting evidence in the locker room. But we found it in the locker room. What stopped the construct from leaving the locker room? It's logic. No, that's not right. Everyone clearly didn't. Someone must have interfered with it. Someone must have interfered with it? What do you mean? You mean him? The right Redmond clearly didn't intend for the professor to go up the locker room. Was she giving it new orders? No. I don't know, man. No. The rumor because they're apparent, but oh no, man. Oh. Oh wait. The lockdown. Right, the body was probably reported earlier than Redmond expected. This means he probably started the lockdown before the construct was finished in the locker room. Or the lockdown affect the construct's actions. But does this change anything? Well, his body was interrupted by Redmond? What? Regas? Series of commands. Wait. Oh, Redmond's series of commands. Okay, it was by the lockdown. Okay. Right, the series of commands would have been interrupted. The lockdown is to blame for everything. Truly the 2020 mood, honestly. Wait a minute. Constructs execute a series of commands in the order that they are given. But let's say one of those tasks is impossible to complete. When the construct gets to that task, it will deem the entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether. So if a task is in a series of commands is impossible, then that command will interrupt the entire series. The construct's final command was to wipe its memory. But if its orders were interrupted by the lockdown, then... Miss Steelwind, I have nothing more to ask this witness. What? You're not giving up, are you? I say with a smile. Do you even have to ask? Yeah, I thought so. But how are you going to prove he did it if he's not testifying? Don't worry, the next witness's testimony will be all I need. Next witness? And that look on your face isn't one of defeat. Just what are you planning? Ha! It's nothing but desperate bravado. Now, if you'll excuse me. You've let your quarry get away, Mr. Cuthbert. I hope you know what you're doing. I do, Miss Steelwind. First, I'd like for the Inquisition to bring in the Arcane construct in the Academy's locker room. We've already stated that the murderer could have wiped its history. Please, just humor me for a second, Miss Ewan. Very well. Kratos, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be partaking in the capitalism right now? Bailiff, please relay Mr. Cuthbert's request to Commander White. Aye. Well, here's your construct. I hope you know what you're doing, Mr. Cuthbert. Construct. End of lunch break, you're bored. Well, now you're not bored anymore. Now you're watching me interrogate a suit of armor. That's cool, right? What are your orders? Please recite your command history. Reporting. Command 1, stand by in Headmaster's office. Command 2, await vocal signal, attack from Theodore Redmond. You heard Redmond stand up from the gallery. Seeing this, the prosecutor watches him and carefully clutches the handle of her cane. Command 3, treat Catherine Bellwether as a hostile entity and neutralize. Construct, wipe your... Huddle! Before he can finish his sentence, the prosecutor points a cane at the headmaster. Magical energy shoots from it and collides directly with him. To the moon. The magic wreathes around his body and stops him from moving. He's clearly trying to struggle against it, but it looks like he can't even move his mouth. Miss Steelwood! Excuse the interruption. Please continue. Command 4, await vocal signal, leave from Theodore Redmond, Diamond Hands. Command 5, move to classroom 2B. Reply to any inquiries with voice line number 3. Command 6, remove Catherine Bellwether from interior frame and place on floor. Thank you, Construct. You can stop now. I think we all know the rest. But just to be clear, who gave you the series of commands? Commands were provided by Headmaster Theodore Redmond. Now he's busted. How? How? I ordered the construct to wipe its command history. Mr. Redmond, constructs don't follow the same logic that humans do. They're prone to error when the commands are impossible to execute. Impossible? In what way were my commands impossible? You are the one that made it impossible. You activated the lockdown system. The lockdown? The body was found earlier than you'd like. You had no choice but to immediately activate the lockdown system when it was reported. However, the construct was still in the locker room when you did this. So that's why it was there. The construct finished its task in the locker room, but then I tried to follow your next command. I tried to move to the storage room, but it was prevented from doing so. Completion of that command was impossible. So, the series of commands that was stopped before it wiped its history. You little... Theodore Redmond, you ordered your construct to murder Catherine Bellwether. Then you had it place the murder weapon in a locker to frame Miriam Fragger. And we have your construct's testimony to prove it. And that's... checkmate. Easy game. Totally didn't struggle at all. I can't believe it. How could you do something like this, Headmaster? She was going to take everything from me. My position, my academy, my students. Everything would be gone. It was going to be stolen by her and the Fraggers. Why didn't you say anything to me? I could have... Don't you dare stand there and act ignorant, Lady Steelwind. Do you think the Fraggers acted alone? Your father was part of this plot too. What? I have nothing to say to you. I thought you were different. I listened to your lies about societal reform. In the end, you were just like the rest of the aristocracy. By the Scarlet Lord, what have I done? I was even willing to sacrifice poor Wallace. Can't believe I... Why did I listen to this? And why is the game doing the glitchy thing again? Also, Kratos, why are you chugging coffee? That's not healthy for you. It appears we have a full confession. The court sees no reason to prolong this any further. Bailiff, Please escort the witness to the holding cell. Mr. Cuthbert, you really did it. It feels amazing, right? Like a big weight being lifted from your shoulders. Red card for the guilty. Damn. It does, but I can't believe the headmaster was the one who did this. Right. Despite everything Redmond did, he was the one that allowed Wallace to pursue his dreams. I'm sorry. I'm sure this is bittersweet for you. What am I going to do now? Headmaster Redmond was the only reason I could even attend the academy. With them gone... Come on, don't think like that. You gotta quit it. I'm sure it'll all work out. You want to agree, but necromancy is basically taboo. Without Redmond's support, there aren't many places that he could learn it legitimately. And then there's the Imperial Academy. Hey, don't you get all sad on me too. Sorry, I was just thinking. With Redmond gone, the Fraggers will probably just appoint another sycophant as their headmaster. Valentina, Valerie, and Yen, they're all going to lose their jobs. Come on, you found the truth and you put a murderer behind bars. You saved Wallace. She's right. As he started to exit the courtroom, he greeted by Miss Tamora. Was she in the gallery this entire time? But I don't know if I can even do her voice right now. At the end of the day, you saved Wallace from a wrongful conviction. You should be proud of yourself for that. I suppose you're right. Maybe I am just overthinking things. But the doubt still lingers in your mind. I forget, was the false one the classroom explained? I mean, it was explained, but it was not relevant. It was explained that the headmaster failed or made a mistake in one of his experiments or whatever, but it was not relevant at all. They were just like, oh, it smells really weird, and that was it. Now come on, I'm taking Wallace to that restaurant we went to last time. Do you remember how much that place cost? Don't worry, I have plenty of gold. Am I the only one on this team who's not making any gold? Damn. Why don't you meet us there, Celeste? I need to talk with Tyrion for a moment. Alright. Let's go, Wallace. Okay. No, I'm talking my teeth. You activated the empowered eye again, didn't you? She doesn't appear to be praising you. I did. I didn't really have a choice. The Eye of Horus is a powerful tool, Tyrion. But that's twice now that you've used the empowered eye to get out of a tough spot. We can't keep relying on it if we want to grow as an attorney. One day you'll find a witness that the empowered eye won't work on. Who's gonna bet this is gonna be Eris? It worked for me. It worked for me this far, though. But I suppose you're right. I'll try to rely on it less next time. But then we don't have the gameplay mechanic. What are we gonna do without the gameplay mechanic? And that marked the end of another case in my career as a defense attorney. Another life saved, and another murder brought to justice. Murderer, not murder. But I still couldn't shake this feeling of uneasiness. Was it guilt for what would happen to the faculty staff? Or was it something else? Episode end. The Walking Dead completed. Man, someone really has been talking with the perp for hours. Wait, are we already in the next case? Or is this an after credit scene? Okay, it's an after credit scene. I was like, wait, please. What's that even to ask at this point? Turns out she doesn't trust his testimony. Something about his memories not matching up with the crime scene. Oh. I don't think he has mage blight, does he? No, it's not that. She found that damn symbol etched into his desk. What did she call it? The purple mark? Oh, for the love of... Not this again. Look, if the little lady wants to chase the boogeyman, just let her. At least this time she's doing it personally instead of dragging us into it. Can't sleep. Oh. Hey! What's up with the... Uh-oh, it's Eris. Who did this to your desk? What has gotten into you? I've already admitted to everything. What more could you possibly want from me? Where did this graffiti come from? What is this symbol? What is this purple mark? I don't know. The student must have done it at some point. Think very hard, headmaster. When did you receive this purple symbol? Focus on the moment you received this. Wait a minute. I remember it now. But how? Lady Seowyn? Lady Seowyn! Aria, what happened? Are you okay? That was close. My elation over meeting him almost made me forget. Eris, what are you doing here? Why? Wait, I remember now. It was you. You put those ideas into my mind. You are the one who told me to murder Bellwether. Oh, you humans never fail to amuse me. I didn't make you do anything. Everything you did that day, all the planning, all the preparation, it came from your own mind. And I have to say, I was quite entertained with the scheme you came up with. Why, you even broke into Miriam's room. You didn't know I had it in you, you old man. You made me forget about our conversation. But how? Illusions can affect the mind. Magic can affect the mind. It's a shame, though. I would have much rather turned Wallace into the antagonist of this chapter. Could you imagine if he turned? It would have been spectacular. Armies of the undead running rampant in the streets. But alas, even I couldn't corrupt this pure soul. Answer me. Who are you? What are you? Why you keep glitching the game? Who am I? I'm the Lord of the Sixth Circle. Rip. That's that didn't sound great. Ironically, the necromancer with the purest soul in the academy. That's true. That do be very ironic. Also, can I... Wait, I don't want to load game. When we go here... Okay, we do have case 3, but it still looks weirdly cut off at the end, so... And supposedly this game has more cases than 3, so, yeah. I don't know if that just unlocks or if I'm just effed. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, Cruddles, if you were hoping for more entertainment, but I'm gonna have to end the stream right here. With the smell, I thought it was explained somewhere that Redmond failed the experiment on purpose to prepare the crime scene. Was it, though? I'm pretty sure it wasn't. You check the previous video. Yeah. I mean, obviously he failed the experiment, that's right, and it was out of character for him to do so, so that's true, but I don't know it was actually brought up that he did that on purpose. Yeah, 1, we need to sleep, and 2, oh god, my throat really is dying, even with all the tea. I mean, it was tea that's supposedly good for your throat, but man, how did we do that? Like with Great Ace Attorney, how did we stream 12 hours of just reading text in different voices, especially voices that strain the throat? How did we do that? I can't anymore. I'm done. So, the evidence of Miriam's cheating really never went anywhere. I mean, he did say that, or it was insinuated that he faked this, since she was actually clever, apparently. I mean, if the prince was like employing her services, and she was apparently good student, so that was fake. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Actually, pretty soon after the last. But I don't know. The thing is, this has been like the week with the last. No, wait. I was about to say this was the last holiday we have, but no, there's another one coming up on 21st. But I don't know if I can stream that week, so wouldn't put my finger on it. Maybe I just really grind Virtuous Last Rewards a lot, because spoiler alert for Acheron, I'm pretty much on the home stretch, I think. I only have one, or like I have 2 path left of the flowchart, and it looks like one of them is obviously going to be the finale. And depending on how long the finale is, I could be done with the game pretty soon. So that would be pretty hype. So maybe I'm going to do that on the next weekend instead of streaming. But we will see. I haven't planned anything. To be fair, this stream was also a spontaneous idea. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and I'm going to see you guys either in the next one or in the Let's Play or wherever. Bye.